time we be pubbing on the grind. If it's LJ from Houston, pulling up stats, you'll be pulling in stacks, hitting bookies from the back with no Vaseline. I need green and up see quantities for a fiend, save the dreams for a king. This is H-Town, home of the lean. Astros is the team and we rock it. Texans for life, you can't stop it. Together like brothers and Becks and Jets. All the time we be pubbing on the grind. If it's LJ from Houston, pulling up stats, you'll be pulling in stacks, hitting bookies from the back with no Vaseline. I need green and up see quantities for a fiend, save the dreams for a king. This is H-Town, home of the lean. Astros is the team and we rock it. Texans for life, you can't stop it. Together like brothers and Becks and Jets. All the time we be pubbing on the grind.
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? It's your boy, LJ from H-Town, back again. Another RaWordz podcast. We're doing some live capping tonight, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to talk about the NHL. We're going to talk about the NBA. And we're just going to shoot the shit. And we're going to make some money tonight, man. And we got this NBA coming back tomorrow. So a lot of games to look at. We got a big NHL card to look at. So we're going to be on here and we're going to look for some money, man. And we all know when I'm on my stream, I like to bring people on that can give me different angles, different type of situations to where I'm not necessarily looking at the game. You know, I do my NBA. I think I'm a pretty good capper at NBA. But when it comes to hockey, baseball, you know, even football, things like that, I like to get other people's insight, you know, and see what they're looking at, see how they're looking at the game. Because at the end of the day, it's all about making money, man. And we could continue to keep making money. So I'm going to bring on one of my friends. You know, he's a big hockey guy. He's good on the props as well, too. So that's why I like bringing him on. So he give me some hockey props that I don't necessarily be dived into. So occupancy. What's going on, my guy? Yeah, you go.
How you doing, LJ? How's it going, everybody? Good to be on the show.
What's going on, man? You know, long time. You know, just wanted to get you on here, man, and talk some hockey with you because I know your time is limited. So you do the hockey segment first. So we got a big card tomorrow. So I wanted to bring you on, see what you're looking at, see how your looks is, and get some props, man, and let's make some money. So, and of course, I got my other guy on. You know, he's a good friend. You know, brings me on their show every now and then. You know, get some good money and be in the chat as well. So from Earl Sports Bets, my man, what's going on, buddy?
What's going on? What's going on? Yeah, awesome hockey slate tomorrow. Much better than the 3-game slate we got today, but love it. I already locked in 6th place. Let's do this.
Hey, that's why I bring you on, guys, so we can make this money. And of course, we got somebody else in the stream, you know, Philly guy, you know, good spirited, loves the trends like me. So we're always hitting each other up in the DMs, you know, hey, here's the latest trend, you know, so hey, let's get it. So my man, Mike M. What's going on, Mike?
What's good, LJ? What's good, boys? Hey, chat. Thanks for joining us tonight. Thanks for inviting me out here tonight. I look forward to working the card with you guys and trying to find those angles so that we can get this thing in our pockets. Should be a good night. Great slate tomorrow. I'm excited.
Big slate. So, yeah, we were brainstorming backstage before the show started. So, we're all, like I said, let me go over the plays first. Occupancy. What are you on tonight? Give the people what you're looking at tonight.
Yeah, of course. After this Islanders game, I'm on the over in Calgary, Arizona. I'm on Blake Coleman, over half a point. LJ, is my audio okay? Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
All right, just checking. Huberdeau, over half an assist. I got a Mangiapane Backlund, same game parlay prop. And I'm on Patrick Kane anytime.
All righty, sir. Look like you got some good right there. What's going on now, Nick? What you working on? What you got tonight?
I got the Yotes team total over 2.5, the full game over 6, and under in Dallas and Chicago, looking to make it 12 straight unders in Stars games. There's a little trend for you.
Ooh.
So you love your trend.
Hey, 12 straight unders. Hey, I followed it too, so I'm on there with you, buddy. Mike, what you working on right now? What you sweating?
That Dallas game is the pimp slap play of the day. So we're looking at that under 6 tonight. We got it in early. I see that it moved. So we're looking to go big and keep that. I've got a little 3-1 trend going right now, or streak going. So excited about that. I took a little shot with our boy Ian Babano today in his Chicago Blackhawks double chance. He's got the win or overtime opportunity for the Blackhawks today. So, you know, these teams go to overtime a lot. The Central Division seems to go to overtime a lot. So I was really Excited about jumping on that. I grabbed the Coyotes. I think there's going to be a little upset out there. It seems like that barn isn't a great place to play for guys coming in from out of town, almost like they're better than it or something. And Arizona finds a way to sneak them. So I did the Arizona first period money line. I've got the full game money line and the Arizona over 6. And I'm with our boy here and sprinkled the Patrick Kane anytime goal scorer as well. So I think I got that around plus 215. So it should be a good Patrick Kane night. Let's see it go.
All right, man. Dave said he's ready. I thought I sent him the link, but guess I'll send it to him again. My man Stoney said he loves the unders, so we're all on the unders. Unders is the play tonight, so hey, we cash in unders.
Let's get it.
Okay, I'll send it to him. All right, man. Let's start off with this NHL big card tomorrow. I've already jotted down a couple key trends, stats, and things like that, but we're going to talk it over. You know, we're going to live cap this and try to come up with some good plays for the people. So let's start off with the Wild and the Blue Jackets. Nick, what do you have projected in this game, sir?
I have it projected for I'm thinking Marc-Andre Fleury tomorrow, and they're saving Gustafsson for Toronto the next day. I think the Columbus Blue Jackets are a live underdog in this game. Looking at it a little bit here, and I need to see if it's Korpisalo though. If it's Korpisalo, I'm probably going to attack the Blue Jackets in some way. If it's Merzlikins, I want nothing to do with the Blue Jackets. This is a game that the line was not available to me earlier, so I haven't made a play on it. But I think it's Blue Jackets and under is the lean for me. Korpisalo has been a pretty good goaltender this year, so he's somebody that you can probably find decent value backing. But this is a spot for me where I'm only interested in the home dog in this spot.
All righty. Occupancy. Did you have anything on this game?
Yeah. Looking at last 5 for these teams, Minnesota going 3-2 on the money line. Columbus also going 3-2 on the money line. I'm probably going to treat this game like I do Minnesota Wild games in the spring. Just try to take them at -1, in some capacity, whether that's a -0.5 in the first and then a money line or a split with a reg at a -1.5 or something in that realm. And then go Ek props, go Gustafsson save props or Fleury save props if they're in there. And I don't spread it out too much in Minnesota. You could add a Kaprizov anytime or an assist in there. But this is a team, Hartman, he put up nice game-winning goal last game. He's a consideration if you're looking for a wild card. But with Minnesota, I try not to get too fancy. No feel on the total for me, but that's where I'm looking towards this game.
Okay. Mike, did you have anything on this game?
Yeah, I agree with Nick. I think it's definitely a live dog spot for Columbus. I'm looking at these teams, and I think the biggest play, the strongest play that I like is the under 6 today. And I think that's one to lock in early because we're going to see it drop down to 5.5 by the time we get up tomorrow morning. These teams just trend under like it's going out of style. We've got the Minnesota Wild 2-1, 3-2, 2-1. There's a 4-3 oddball in there, and then another 2-1 game. And then we've got Columbus coming off a 3-2 at Arizona, 4-1 at Dallas, 3-1 Winnipeg, 3-2 New Jersey, and then about a week ago they were at 4-3 at Toronto. So, we take those 2 oddballs out there, those 2 anomalies, and this game definitely screams under. I don't know that it's going to be a great prop game, but I do think looking at those goaltender save opportunities might be a good look as well. Seeing if we can catch somebody around that 30, 32 save mark might be a good spot to turn some plus money out of this card.
Right.
I mean, if you are looking props in this game, it's pretty simple because there's only been like 3 contributors recently for the Minnesota Wild, and that is Ryan Hartman, Kirill Kaprizov, and drawing a blank on the third name here, Eriksson Ek. Eriksson Ek's the other one. There's only been 3 contributors recently for the Wild, so it's pretty simple with them.
I look at the trends here as well. I see Columbus is on a 10-15 to the under on the road. They're playing in Columbus. Let me get my
Flames
stats
goal, by the way.
figured here. Yeah, so we've got The Minnesota Wild are 11, 14, and 1 on the under. The Minnesota Wild as a favorite, and they're a big favorite, are 14, 26, and 1 to the under. Columbus has a dog is 23 and 25. So I think if anything, we see scoring coming out of the Columbus side, and I don't know that Nashville or Minnesota is going to be able to get themselves up for this game.
So maybe what about a Minnesota team total under?
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking.
Well,
too.
hold that thought because
Yeah.
we're gonna bring somebody else in that's familiar with the show. He's our people. Y'all seen him last night, of course. Dave, in the
What's
building.
up? What's
going
up?
on, my guy?
I'm not in jail. I am
Not yet.
if you've watched my videos, you know that when I travel for work, I'm in a different place. I just got off the road. I've done zero capping, but I'm going to tell you right now, I'm locking in this under. Well, okay. I have to bet the Wild. We all know that stupid bullshit, right? Half a unit. But and if you don't know, it's not worth explaining why.
Yeah.
But this under every single trend, I mean, there's not one over trend for this team. Yeah. We were just talking about how Minnesota's defense has been good. I know that Columbus, counting on a team not to score against Columbus is really rough, but all these, 5 of 6, last 5 of 6 for both teams under. 8 of 10 against Columbus on the road for Minnesota. 4 of 5 in the Eastern Conference under. 8 of 10. Yeah, I already said that. 5 of 6. Yeah. So I'm on the under.
Okay.
By the way, I saw
agree.
I saw the 3.5 around -135 for the team total under for Minnesota.
-135.
On Caesars under 3.5 -135 is something I'll probably play tomorrow because the Wild have scored have scored 4 or more goals once the last month, and of course it was one of the games that I bet they're under for their for their team total.
Another spot I was trying to look at and try to figure out how to get into the play is the puck line for Columbus. Minnesota Wild as a favorite are 0-8 in their last 8 on that puck line. It looks like it's around -165 right now. That might be a little too juiced. 164 it looks like I'm seeing right now. Might be a little too juiced, but I don't know. There might be a way to play that at the +1 even to take some of that juice down. And I know we were talking about that last night. I like that strategy that Nick throws out there with the +1 or -1, and you're still alive.
+1s.
Go the +1 side.
Can we find out how many goals have the Wild allowed in the last 5 games?
I can get that up in just a second.
I got it.
Okay.
It's 10.
1 3 1 3 2 2.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Looks like.
But I'm liking Mike's angle because they haven't covered a puck line.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So if we're thinking they're a live dog, right, and granted the +1's gonna still probably lay some odds for it or some juice for it, but a +1.5 is a little too juicy for me. And if I think they're going to win outright, that kind of gives me that little insurance on the back door if it goes to overtime. I don't think overtime's out of the question for these teams either.
I think a first period money line, that's kind of a safer play on if you like the first period under the draw too, because then that would you cover a couple more bases with that. But it's a good betting opportunity. Ultimately, I do still lean towards Minnesota. I always back them in the spring. I don't like to bet them in the fall or anything.
Back them in the spring when they lose in the first round of the playoffs. This team doesn't.
No, Nick. No, not the playoffs. I'm talking end of the regular
season.
In the
playoffs. This team is soft in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm not mad at your angle, bro, because I used to I put out this trend Memphis on Fridays at home, bro. They're undefeated.
Yeah.
So I get you on the spring that when the sun rises to the east, whatever the case may be, whatever trend fits you, bro.
It honestly started from it. No, it started from these Vegas games. If you go back and look at these Talbot matchups from last spring, 2 springs ago, that's what got me hooked. There's just a really fun team to watch. I just love watching hockey. And then with the betting markets, how they are, getting involved early, knowing what's going on because everybody's going to be doing it soon. You want to know the players, you want to know the trends. I mean, I look at form last 5, a lot. But at the end of the day, it's going to come to a price. So I don't lay, I'm trying not to lay, I like plus money bets as well. Like, so, we all got different capping styles. It's cool, but, hopefully we can make some money together ultimately. We got a great card ahead,
Yeah, man. It seems like to me it's trending under. So I'm going to circle that, put a star by it. Because it just seems like to me it's all pointing to that. And the fact that those numbers that y'all let me know the Wild have been given up hasn't been no more than 3 like in a game. So yeah, I'll be safe to take the under.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Let's keep it moving, man. Let's move to the Rangers and the Red Wings. Rangers 7-5 on the road versus the East, 7-3-4 versus the Atlantic. Now, I was talking to Occupancy off the stream that interesting stat for the Rangers. Second period, they're 10-3-5 in their last 18 games in the second period.
Really?
So, yeah, if we can bet them live, let's say they get down in the first period, jump on the Rangers in the second period. Now, we were talking the fact that some books allow you to bet periods by themselves. See, I only can do that in the NBA. My book won't allow me to bet a second period or a third period before the game. I would have to bet it live. So it's just an interesting angle for us, the Rangers. But Dave, let's start with you. Did you have anything on the Rangers, Red Wings?
We were a lot of people on the panel were on the Red Wings the last game. Was it yesterday or the day before? Yesterday.
Yes, it was yesterday. We're all on it. Yeah,
we smashed the shit out of that. We're also on the Wild too. I had them in reg, which yesterday was a good day. But for me, I think the Rangers have been hot. I think this streak they're going to come back towards the mean. They got a good goalie, and they've got the thing about it, and I'm newer to hockey. We all know that watching the Rangers kind of isn't as frustrating as the Wild, but it's frustrating. Them and the Sabres and some other teams that I followed because you guys are fans and I'm kind of tailing your bets and stuff. I don't want to put money on the Rangers, and the Red Wings have been playing well. And when you can get a good number as a dog, I think they're a look. So the Red Wings are going to be a look. I'm not there yet. Like I said, I'm just starting my cap, and obviously the over's a look too. If the Red Wings are scoring and the Rangers can, add, 2 or 3 goals, I like the over. So my 2 leans right now are the Red Wings plus money and the over.
Okay. Mike, did you have anything?
Yeah, so I'm with Dave on that over. Interesting spot here. The number's sitting at 6 right now. And again, this might just be the early line factor, but these teams are coming off of totals of 6.5, 6.5, 6.5, 6.5. Red Wings had a 5.5. I think it closed at 5.5 against the Capitals because of, I'm assuming, the situation with Ovechkin there. But then if you flip over to the Rangers side of the house, 6.5, 6.5. They got a 7 in there. They got 9 goals in that game. They got 8 goals, 10 goals, 9 goals. They got an under 6.5 and then an under 5.5 with Calgary and Winnipeg. But those are kind of their 2 most recent. It seems like they might be they scored 1 goal and then 2 goals the game before that. But other than that, they've been explosive on offense. They've been getting that puck in the net. So I think it's a double spot there. New York Rangers team total over, 3.5 might be the spot. But I'm definitely leaning to the Rangers over in this spot. I think these 2 teams match up, and when they get together, they seem to like to get goals flying, and it's that kind of old school hockey mentality where there's just defense optional.
Okay. Nick, what we got?
I'm going to actually go with the side, not the total in this game. I actually have a small lean towards the under at the total because my projections came out with 5.85 goals in this game. So, but with that being said, the Red Wings have been a team I've been riding a little bit as of late. I was on them both games against Vancouver. I was on them against Calgary. I was on them in their last game against Washington, and Occupancy can agree with me on this one. As an Islanders fan, I can't stand the Rangers.
Absolutely.
With that being said, I'm going to throw a curveball at you here. I'm on the Rangers -1. And here's the thing with that is, even though the Red Wings have been a team that's been cashing tickets, the quality of competition that they played has not been as good. This is also their first game back of a very successful road trip. And we have the Rangers coming in off an embarrassing loss where they lost, I believe, 4-1 or 5-1 to the Winnipeg Jets. And they dominated that game against Winnipeg. Yeah. That was a Connor Hellebuck win. That was not a Winnipeg Jets win because they put up 51 shots on Hellebuck that night. I think that comes back down to the mean here, and those expected goals that they had that game turn into actual goals against Ville Husso, who has been good this year, but he's about a league average goaltender according to my numbers this season. So I like the Rangers actually in this game at the -1 line. I got it at +105.
The Rangers stomped the shit out of them the last time they played them, too. Granted, it was back in November, but it looks like it was an 8-2 final, and I kind of remember that
game was, I believe, 2-2 heading into the third period. I think they dropped like a ton of
Are you guys scared of this?
Third period, but it was definitely an explosion of goals.
Are you guys scared of this impending? Like, okay, so last game obviously didn't go well for the Rangers, but before that, it was Rangers were white hot. They're not a team that can keep up this momentum.
Yes, they are.
Right? They are?
They absolutely are. They made the Eastern Conference Finals last year. They're an elite hockey team, as much as I hate to say that. This is an elite hockey team with a great top six, one of the best goaltenders in the world, and a great blue line.
Top 10 Russian winger, just to keep the speed going.
I've been watching a different team. Maybe I should be. I mean, that's the whole thing. Is I was, I didn't see. I knew they were in the playoffs last year, but the beginning.
They added pieces. It'll kind of be like the middle of the lineup. You need Lindgren. You need your Lindgrens, your Trubus to be contributing to the offense. Like, we know what he can do, on the defensive side. I mean, it's a good team to bet, a good team to watch. I had been riding the Rangers pretty hot for a while. I stepped off with that Edmonton game. I didn't. That could have went either way. And I stepped off on the travel spot for Winnipeg. I was on the Jets money line and +1.5 that night. The thing with the Red Wings is, I feel like if you want to bet the Red Wings, you got to go team total over 2.5 with them, just to have it, because they can win or lose. But in the last 3 games, they put up 3, 2, and 5. 2 games before that, they put up 6 and 5. So they're scoring. They're getting goals in bunches. I think the Larkin incident, probably had the locker room a little on edge, maybe brought them down to earth a little bit. They still managed to get a win with that game. And this team, when I first looked at the card, I was just going to say Detroit money line +140, sign me up. That's the way I rock sometimes. I'm trying to be a little more selective as we're moving, and especially with kind of this juggernaut. It's like that's who I looked at who they're playing. I'm like, NYR, like that's a heavy name. So I'm probably looking at props in this game as well. On the Ranger side, I'm been betting Zibanejad left and right with his shots or point. I've been betting Hedl. It's spelled with a C, but you find him. He's going to get some good prices, like over 1.5, over 2.5 shots for him, and his point's going to be good. He's, he doesn't get as many minutes as everyone else, but that guy's on a heater as well. I haven't looked too heavy into the Detroit side. I mean, Larkin props are always good. I was playing Bertuzzi for a while, but they get contributions up and down the lineup, which is why I like the team. You got your Soderblom's, your Perrons, your Ronix. I think Fabry's back in the lineup. Pius Suter's getting on the board. I mean, you look at their game logs. You gotta, that's probably a good market to get in with them. But they don't put up a ton of shots notoriously either. They're in like the 20s, lower 20s bracket. So I wouldn't get too carried away. But this game, it could go either way. With regards to the total, I haven't even thought of. I mean,
so one of the trends I noticed is the Red Wings here. I see the Red Wings last 6 games when they're a home dog after they've won on the road has gone over the total. So they must come home and celebrate a little longer than they should have after that last road win on the homecoming side of things. Maybe they got to spend a little too much time picking up laundry. But I like your thoughts there around the shots on goal. The Red Wings ranked 29th in the NHL in block shots. So when the puck's coming down the net, they're getting out of the way. They're not stepping in front of it. And that's going to lead, I think, to some excellent player prop opportunities for shots on goal. And I think you're going to see a couple of those are going to get in the net. If we see a 40-shot game, it's going to be hard for the goalie to come out there and stop, 2, 3 of them at least. And I think shots on goal props when we start to see the market open up.
Yeah, I was gonna say if we're gonna see a 40-shot goal, 40 shots on goal game by the Rangers, they're gonna put at least 4 in the back of the net.
Yeah,
So my question
Lafreniere.
is, I'm sorry.
Oh, my bad. I was saying, go for it.
No, go ahead.
It's just for Lafreniere. I mean, he's not quite. I'm not quite betting him for points yet. He's at 28 on the season in 56 games. It's not quite where I like someone to be for a point prop, but he's just hit 100 shots. So if you find an over 1.5 for him, he gets involved. He's supposed to be a good player for them moving forward. My bad, LJ. Keep
one
going.
overall pick.
Yeah.
No, I was looking at your team total over 2.5 Red Wings. I was going to see what if the Rangers have been giving up, and they've been on the road,
Yeah,
and they've been giving up. They've won, what is that, 7-2 in their last 9 games, but they've only given up like 2, 3, 4, 5. So that 2.5. Because the Red Wings are 9-4 in their last 13, so they could win this game. I think they could win this game because
they can. I think they absolutely can.
Yeah, I think they can win this game, bro. But I'm gonna look at your team total and I'm gonna circle that. But I'm gonna ponder that because I like Nick's angle too about the road trip. Now they're coming back home.
Yes, it was a very successful road trip.
Yeah, so it's just those 2 angles right there I'm looking at because both of them have good records in their last, streaky games. So
I'd fade Halak for sure. I don't know if I'd fade Igor, but
Halak's not been bad this year.
No, I know he's been better, but if I were to bet against the Rangers, you know what I'm saying?
You want Halak in that, yeah.
I think so, yeah. But it's gonna be an interesting game, for sure.
But all said and done.
I was looking a little bit at the Red Wings too. I think the Red Wings, they had a nice little run here, but I do think they fall off a little bit towards the end of the season. I was looking at remaining strength of schedule, and their schedule is not very friendly to them. They have one of the toughest remaining strength of schedules in hockey, so I do expect them to fall off a little bit. I think we can look at the Red Wings very similar to the Buffalo Sabres. They're a team that next year, they're a playoff team. This year, they're going to be a few points out.
Yeah, and also the Rangers, they're coming off 2 losses. They're top 10 in points scored and allowed, and they're 17-5-5 on the road.
Yeah, they're a very good team, the Rangers.
So, oh man, this is a toss-up. So you know what I do with toss-ups? I pass.
You pass. Okay.
So hey, it's all good. We can revisit it, but I don't want to spend a lot of time on it. We got a lot of games. So let's jump to this Kings and Devils. Devils, man, coming off a loss. Am I correct? Yes, they're coming off a loss. But they are 11-3 at home versus the West, 13-0-1 versus the Pacific Division, 14-7 in the last, 21 games since January. And they're 16 out of the last 20 games, 3+ goals. Now, they went under their team total last night because Nut Flush cashed it. He sent me a message saying, I'm taking the Devils team total under. Yeah. So how about we jump back on it tomorrow? What do you think, Nick? We jump back on it tomorrow? Team total?
I don't know about the team total. Let's see what I have them projected for. I have the Devils. I've been projected for 2.9 goals, so I think that could be an interesting look because they are minus 150 favorites. I like the Kings in this game. I took the Kings at plus 140. This is a team that they're towards the top of the Western or the Pacific Division. For the last 5 games, they've outplayed their opponent by at least 1 expected goal. In that game against Minnesota, they were the much better team. They outchanced them. And we got lucky with that Minnesota cash the other night that Gustafsson is good at hockey because it was 3.91 to 1.68 when you look at the expected goals numbers. So Gustafsson was awesome in that game. And, this Kings offense is actually pretty good. They're averaging 3.66 expected goals for the last 10 games. So this is a team that does create chances, does create opportunities. They have been playing over the total often as well. But I can see them with Phoenix Copley here. Copley's been awesome since coming into the starting role for the Kings. And I'm assuming it's going to be Copley tomorrow, and then they're going to save Quick, or they're going to put Quick against the Islanders the following day, which I would love for them to do that. But yeah, Phoenix Copley 17-4-1 with a 267 goals allowed average and a 904 save percentage. He's been good since kind of having the big question mark of goaltending for the Kings, because Quick and Peterson were terrible up until the point that they introduced Copley into the lineup. So Copley's a bet on goalie, I think, and I'm on the Kings at a nice little plus dog price tomorrow. And I wouldn't talk you off of the team total under for New Jersey. I was on that yesterday. I laid some chalk because I saw it at 4.5. So I grabbed the under 4.5 with them. But let's see what you can get for team total under with New Jersey. 3.5, $1.25, $1.30. I don't hate that at all. I might jump on that as well. But yeah, I'm already on the Kings plus 140.
Wow. All right. Mike, you got anything on this one?
Yeah, I mean, the big factor that stands out to me, the one thing I look at when I see a lot of trends in numbers and stats and player factors and road trips is how does a team stack up against a particular division, right? So teams are generally built to compete within their division. They're playing the same teams a multitude of times, head to head and back to backs and everything else. But when they go out of division, what are they doing? Are there any trends that kind of jump out there? And it looks like the Devils have beaten the Pacific Division 9 times in a row was the number I saw. So they're matching up at a competitive, or they're at a significant advantage against those Pacific West Coast teams. They just played in January. The Devils put the smackdown on the Kings. I think it was 5-2 was the final score.
5-2.
Previous to that, these are 1-goal games. But I think what that does is it motivates the Kings to come out early. So I kind of do like the Kings to start early, and I think it creates a live opportunity, for the New Jersey Devils. I don't want to get in the way of somebody saying that they like the Kings there, because I do like Copley in that. I think he's been clearly the bright star. He's 17-4-1 this year with a 267 goals against average. He's only got the one shutout, but he keeps a 90% saving average. To me, he's got kind of the guts to get it done right now, and it's that revenge spot. So I think we see the Kings start out fast, and I may get on that Kings first period, but I'm going to look to get a live play in there, depending on the pace of play around the New Jersey Devils. So that's going to kind of be my lean right now. I really haven't gotten there one way or the other on either of these two teams. I do like Copley a lot. That's a guy that I've been play on and bet on, but I think it's going to come down to how they start. I'd be nervous. I'm nervous personally that the Kings come out to a 3-0 advantage, and then it's like the Devils are chasing their asses till they give up at the end of the second period. So I like that idea of kind of let's see how it starts, and then that opportunity to jump in there as long as it's not a blowout.
Yeah,
well, I can give you a Devils trend. Third period, they are 11-5-2 in their last 18 games in the third period. So if they're behind, I see a live opportunity right there.
Rally.
Yeah. So I see it. That was a good call. Dave, what you got?
Let's play a game. You want to play a game?
Of course.
Which team does they play less?
You want to play a game like fucking Saw? Okay. Good team or bad team? Coyotes.
Bad.
Bucks.
Bad.
Sabres, be honest.
Bad.
Mediocre.
Mediocre.
Pittsburgh.
Bad.
Mediocre.
Okay. So these are the teams that LA has beaten recently by quite a bit. Let's play good or bad. Tampa Bay.
Good.
Average.
Carolina.
Good.
Great.
Yeah.
Be honest, Minnesota. Middle
Average.
of the line, right? Okay.
Average.
These are teams that have beaten the Kings. So here's the deal. I like the Kings. I have my stupid gifts that I put in the Twitter, the Monty Python thing. That's all fun and dandy. And I have my jokes about how everyone from New Jersey are Devils and why it's such an appropriate name. But by far, I mean, there's no way I'm betting the Kings in this spot. There's no way. And there's no way I'm laying a $1.45 with the Devils. And I have no feel at all on this total. So it's a stay off. But I wanted to make a point when you're talking about the Kings, who I want to like, but they're really only beating up on bad teams. So,
hey, that's a great way to look at it.
That's all I got. I got nothing else.
The Devils are another team that are top 10 in points scored and points allowed. So those teams I'm already going to look at. And if they're coming off a loss too. Same way the Rangers are. So those are teams I like to look at because I believe if you are a good team, you're coming off a loss, and you're in the top 10 in the specific categories that I look at, you're pretty much a bet on for me. But it just depends on the situation, of course, and who you're playing. You know, I'm not going to say I do it every time, but I just look to see how you're trending, what is your average, and who are you playing. Occupancy. Do you have anything on this one?
Yes, sir. Looking a little bit at what Mike was saying, I think Copley has an advantage here, and I like him in general, and that will keep me off the Devils at minus 145. It was right around the price where I was interested, and I think they'll win outright. In that series history, like we had talked about, they won 5-2, and the Kings seem to be riding the hot hand of Kempe, and it didn't slow down, but a little bit. He only had only an apple, and 3 shots on goal last game where he was putting up like multi-point and 4 or 5 shots game. So I think he's cooling down a tiny bit. And I'm not going to say as one player goes, the whole team goes. That's not fair either. But what I would be looking at are New Jersey props. You can't have the conversation without mentioning Hughes and Hamilton. I think they're bet on every game. The numbers are higher and the prices are higher, but you have to include them in the conversation. Guys that I've looked at in the past were the Heischer shot on goal props, but they're very sneaky with their save props as well because they hang for Vanacek because he's kind of like he's not top of the line kind of goalie, but he's not terrible either. And they hang some like 25 5s and 26 5s for him. So I'd be looking towards that and maybe the Copley save prop as well. The series history is trending under, which was interesting. I see a 3-2 game. That was back in 2022. Another 3-2 game. The one they just played went over. But the Kings have been, I mean, maybe not as recent, but, in the last few years, I mean, they're a sneaky under team as well. But, I don't trust New Jersey really either to keep the scoring down. So I'll be looking to bet this game somehow. Outright for New Jersey. I haven't figured out exactly what line that's going to be, but I think I'd stay off the money line here. So maybe try to get them, like LJ was saying, minus a half in the third period is an interesting look, or their team total. But I don't know. I think for a home game for New Jersey, I haven't looked at the splits as much on their home away, but that'd be something interesting to know. And Kings coming off the first game or this is the first game of a road trip for them. That's what LJ and I were talking about before. It was like, how do teams do on first games of road trips, things like that. I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of different things to look at it. Ultimately, I agree with Dave. I think minus 145 for New Jersey is just not a place I want to be. But ultimately, just a couple props and New Jersey to win outright.
LJ, you brought up a good point that I didn't want to forget before we put the bow on this one is the Devils are 7 wins in a row after a loss. So they do rally as a team that I think a lot of it speaks to what we just talked about there with that second half of the game, third period look is a great spot, I think, depending on it should be competitive down the stretch. First game coming off a home streak for the Kings is a really good point too. I think that's going to be a real interesting one. I definitely see live opportunity on this one.
So BetUS has to score last, and I don't advocate. I don't look at the stats as much on that, but it's similar to like a minus a half in the third period, right? Because if you think they're going to win by 1 in the third, then they're also probably scoring last. Maybe not necessarily either, but I don't know. And I think New Jersey is just going to. This is one of the great games to watch. If you have it in your schedules out there, this should be an exciting game. I know it's out of conference and everything. But they're 2 fun teams, and hopefully they put on a show for people.
And I want to say, too, by the way, maybe I wasn't clear enough with if I laid minus 145 odds, I'd be betting the Devils here. So I that didn't come across. I don't have a play in this because I don't lay that juice for anything. I'm starting to think doing it for UFC just because I'm being, which hurts my stomach. You have to do it for that sport, but
I tell one or two people for UFC. I'll lay it a little bit.
But if this was one minus 125 or minus 130, I'd take it. You know.
Yeah.
Update. I don't know if y'all are on this, but I talked about it on Jimmy's show today. I was in the chat. Flames and Coyotes under 1.5 first period plus 115 cashed.
Nice.
Let's go. I saw that. Yeah.
Now let's get some goals now.
Let's do
lots
it.
of goals. Lots of goals.
That's why I get in, get out. Because I don't know who's going to score the goals. So let's get in and get out. So, yeah, good cash right there. Update on the Dallas, 1-0 already on the Blackhawks. And I just saw a stat that 2-0. I'm sorry. I'm behind. My bad.
We're not off to a good start in that game. Got the under. There's 2 early goals.
Yeah.
2 quick ones. We're not top of each other.
But they also said that the Chicago Blackhawks are 7-28-2 this season when the opponent scores first.
You gotta pick your spots with those Blackhawks. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah, like live betting them at plus 450 against the Vegas Golden
Exactly.
Knights.
You got to live bet at plus 450.
Yeah, that was a big one. So the under 6.5 is minus 140 right now in that Dallas game. I'm still not off of that. I mean, they scored 2 in a row. Kind of easy to, I don't want to say easy, but you catch a team quickly and they're staggering a little bit. It's kind of got that punch or stagger to them, or that punch.
I'm hoping this is a 4-0 type of win for Dallas.
Beat the shit out of them, but don't go over 6.
All right. So the consensus is the Devils. Bet them live is what we're saying.
I think we're going to try to get that third period.
Yeah.
Minus a half, maybe.
I like that one.
Am I on an island with the Kings here?
King could still win, Nick, and Devils win the third, but I don't know if they're going to win outright. It's just a tough team.
Well, Devils are good, man, and
I might bet, depending upon what it is, if you can get a good number. If the Kings go up 1-0, I might bet the Devils.
Yeah, that's a good way. Yeah. All right, let's move on, man. Let's talk about this Oilers and Penguins game. The Oilers are 5-6 on the road versus the East, 16-3-1 to the over in their last 20 games. The Penguins are 9-3 at home versus the West, 6-3-1 in their last 10 to the over at home. But I was just mentioning that the Penguins have a horrible stat against above 500 teams. I think I mentioned it to y'all before, but I'm going to say it again. This stat is, what is the Kings? What division? Central?
Pacific.
I mean, the Penguins.
Oh,
Metro.
Metro.
My bad. I'm sorry. I got my notebooks right here. The Penguins are 7-20 ATS at home, 1-13 to the puck line in the last 14 games at home. They're 4-16 in their last 20 games versus teams above 500, and they're 9-17 in their last 26 games.
4-16 against teams above 500.
Yes,
I just want to make sure I heard
4-16 in the last 20. 4-16 in the last 20
against teams above 500.
Above 500.
I just want to make sure I heard that right. God damn, that
team
sucked.
Yeah, they do. Yeah. They suck versus good teams. Like bad teams, they'll beat up on. But good teams, they don't seem to have success. So, of course,
this could be the game of the night.
Really, right? Because they are 9-3 at home versus the West. The Oilers don't play very good on the road. They're more of a home team. But I still would probably lean towards the Oilers just because of the bad record that the Penguins have versus 500 teams. So I'm going to leave it up to talk it out with you guys. So, Dave, you want to start this one off? Oilers and Penguins.
Sure. I love talking about the Penguins, but I think well, here's the deal. The Edmonton, the Oilers, I don't care road or home. Oilers against the Penguins, and the Penguins are a minus 110 favorite. That to me says what's up. But I don't think it's as stinky as you think it is, because Edmonton's been on a slide. I mean, they won their last game, but the 4 games before that they lost. Mm-hmm. What else do we get? They're 1-4, 1-4 their last 5 straight up. They're 4-1 their last 5 straight up against Pittsburgh, but that makes sense. Here's the deal. Edmonton has two of the best players in hockey. They're an offensive team. I know people make fun of Jack Campbell. He's probable tomorrow. Whatever. This Penguins team stinks. I don't care that the line stinks. To me, if this were a baseball line and I knew that these teams were about the same skill level, I'd be finding ways to get on Pittsburgh. But I've watched Pittsburgh. I've bet Pittsburgh. I haven't won a Pittsburgh bet. My first freaking NHL cap ever, which was a big ha-ha joke, was on the Penguins, and I lost that too, so I'm bitter. I think the Oilers get things going. They're too good of a team, and this is a fantastic – you're getting plus money? Is it plus money or is it pick 'em?
It's like minus 105-ish.
Yeah. I mean, I can't – I'm a sucker. I'll take the bait. I'm going with the Oilers.
All right. Mike.
And that's a locked-in bet too, by the way.
Okay.
So, in a lot of sports, and I think it's indicative in hockey more than any, is how these teams are playing from the last game to the current game. And what we saw is Pittsburgh puked it up at the end of that last game against the Islanders, right? And then you have Edmonton. They didn't even wake up until halfway through the third period against the Flyers, and they were able to come in there and they beat them. So, you got a team that just caught that win. They were on a 5-game losing streak, Edmonton was. And I think Edmonton is who the Penguins were like 10 years ago. So, they've got the talent, they've got some depth, they've got some role players, and they've got two of the better, bright spots in the NHL. I think we've got a situation here where, if they're baiting me into the Edmonton Oilers at even money or even a tight little bit of juice, I'm all in. I think the Oilers are going to lay the smackdown on the Penguins. I don't think much of the Penguins now to begin with. And, maybe that, influences my thoughts on this game overall. But, the squeaky wheel that I have when I look at Edmonton is their first period trend isn't very strong right now. They're on a losing streak in the first period. But I think they got right there with the locker room talk and beating up granted, it's the Flyers, but the Flyers had just come off a win. I'm biased and partial, but they just came off that win. They came out there and they gave Edmonton hell. And Edmonton took it all and then came back and went pop, pop, picked up the win, and then went on the road. So I think this is a spot where we see Edmonton lay it down. And, they've owned the series. They're not winning by 1 goal. They're winning by 2, 3, 4 goals when they beat Edmonton or when they beat Pittsburgh. So granted, they've only played once this year. I think it was a 6-3 victory. I think we're going to see the same thing. Over's definitely a look for me in this one too, but I think the Oilers lay it down.
Yeah, I think both of them actually happens, but, that's just me. Nick, what we got?
I'm right on board. Give me the Oilers. I got them at even money. I think they should be a favorite in this game.
Yeah.
And I don't trust this Penguins team. Now, granted, you're asking Islander fans and Flyer fans what we think about the Penguins. But my numbers, my model says that Oilers should be probably minus 125, minus 130 in this game. And I get it. They've had trouble closing out games, but this is a team that consistently outperforms their opponents. When you look at their expected goal numbers, they have won the expected goal battle in the last 10 games. Like, this is a team that has dominated some of their opponents as well. The game against Detroit, they dominated them, except for they just couldn't close out the game. They dominated the Montreal Canadiens in that game. They got bad goaltending. I mean, we just need halfway competent goaltending with the Edmonton Oilers, and this team's a Stanley Cup contender. Really, because their offense is putting up 3.99 expected goals per game in the last 10. Like, this is a team that's creating opportunities. They're creating chances, and they got some of the best goal scorers in the world, and this is a team that should be putting up 4 or 5 goals a game, and my projection said they should in this game. I kind of lean over in this game as well. I wish it wasn't a 7. I wish it was a 6.5. But I lean over in this game, but I already bet the Oilers here. Even money.
How are we looking at team total? What's their team total, Oilers?
It's going to be a 3.5 around a minus 105, minus 110 range. I think there's a little bit of an edge on that.
Okay. Got it. Occupancy. You got anything on this game?
Yeah, it's going to be a really exciting game. Can't wait to talk about it with you guys. There's an issue because we're all on the same side. So I don't know if that means it's a good thing or a bad thing, but that's the only way I see this game going down. Edmonton's a market. Me and LJ were talking backstage, all right, and we were saying how, these hockey markets like locale, I'm stoked that Mike's on too, having a Philly guy in that tri-state connection there. It's important to know these teams. Like I don't even bet certain markets. I don't touch Leafs games. I don't touch Canadians games. I don't know those markets. But the one thing with Edmonton is that they're a market that has this top player. So they have to, they're like Tampa. They have to kind of appeal to like the people who are just looking at the NHL app and don't know this, So I bet Oilers games pretty much almost the same way. If I had these numbers, I wish I would know if it's profitable next season. That's kind of what I'm going to do, is take like a look at this. I basically would go Edmonton money line and team total, Connor McDavid over 1.5, Leon Draisaitl over 3 shots, Ryan Nugent-Hopkins over 1.5 shots, over 2.5 shots, over half a point. And then with Kane, his data points aren't there yet. He's played half the season. He's putting up a lot of numbers. So he's not a terrible look. And then Nurse, he was going on a run where he was hitting over 2.5 shots for a long time as well. So, these are just trends and just like season long stats that when you look at the Edmonton Oilers top 3, points producers, shots producers, everything, it's, these are the guys. And I love the Nuge. The Nuge is one of those people who is always undervalued, underpriced. You get like 30, 40 cents better on that guy. And he works hard. I watched a lot of those games early on in his career, and he got pushed around the crease a lot. His name kind of thing, like, he kind of gets shit, sometimes. I mean, the books obviously do. He's 3rd on the Edmonton Oilers right now in points. And like, that's an NHL team, and that's tough. That's a tough feat, for even to make the league. So that's how I would look at it. My best bet probably be in this game. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. But yeah.
Okay. I like it. I like all of it because I bet Oilers a lot, especially on the over. Like I said, they're 16-3-1 to the over in the last 20. And they're 28-10 in their last 38 games, 3+ goals. So
and on the other side, Rust and Zucker props, Raquel, are good look. Pittsburgh's not going to lie down either because they're, fighting for a playoff spot. I don't think it's going to be an easy game. Like I wouldn't be saying -2.5 for Edmonton. I mean, I think those are fun. You talk about it in the chat with your buddies, but I'm not going to be putting like, a serious unit on that. I don't think they're going to smoke them. I think, it's going to be a tight game. It's going to be a lot of, good checking. Hopefully, we see some goals. This is good material. When you're checking out teams, like you got, if you want to know the NHL, you got to know how like 3 or 4 teams are always doing. And Edmonton's just one of those teams. Yeah. You got to know how they're doing.
I got you.
They're in the conversation. Listen, I know we get into future shows and stuff. Definitely check out these guys' channels. I mean, everyone watching, like these guys are, they're posting info, data, pics, like all this stuff. Like, you really got to be checking them out. I mean, you want to throw, Oilers wet to win the West conversation in. I mean, it's a dark horse. I don't think it's necessarily going to happen. But if there are 3 or 4 teams from the West that I think are going to make it, I mean, if they get hot, they could kind of see what Colorado did with McKinnon, Rantanen, just going ham. Right, last season they just were on one.
Their only problem
is who? Goaltending.
Goaltending. It's the same. It's the same fucking thing every year with Edmonton. It's goaltending.
But they'll win those 6-5 games and the 5-4 games, hopefully against like LA. I think they could outrace LA.
That doesn't win you a Stanley Cup.
Working on that.
Oh, seriously.
That doesn't win you a conference.
No, it doesn't. And I think
that's
also
the problem.
Vegas is always dangerous. Oh my God! Serious, stop.
No. Serious, want to talk to you.
Nah, but the NHL this year is just absolutely insane.
So I'm a proponent. You guys know how I feel about that 7 trend. The 7 number in the NHL has been deadly under spot, right? I think it's like 2, 9, and 6 to the under, something like that right now. But yeah, those 2 teams are 2 teams that are capable of lighting the lamp up. So I think we're, it scares me a little bit that we're on the same side, but we're all guys that know hockey. So it's not like we're just coming out here throwing darts at a board saying this is what I like today. I like the jerseys that Edmonton's wearing tomorrow, so I'm going to take them. I think that there's a little bit more.
Are they wearing the Comet jerseys? Because those are pretty cool.
I like the orange personally that they have inside there too. So if they go all orange, I'm okay with that too. But that aside, that's I think that's not a bad look, and I'll be on it for sure.
Does anyone have any thoughts on the Boise State, New Mexico basketball game?
No.
Okay.
No.
All right.
Sorry.
I think Boise State will be a team to watch out for when the bracket comes.
I don't derail anything. That's the only thing on that. While you guys are talking,
Coyotes goal.
Coyotes goal.
Coyote goal.
I almost bro. It's like last night when I should have pushed a button. I was thinking the Coyotes plus it was plus 125. Coyotes plus a goal.
Schmaltz from Gus to Spare.
So Dave, the one spot I would look at there for that New Mexico Boise game is the over.
Yeah, I'm thinking the same thing actually.
The under? You said the over or the under? Sorry,
I got I was looking at the over in that one. I didn't. I took. I think I have New Mexico, or I'm sorry, Boise money line in a bullshit teaser, but or a bullshit parlay. But I looked at hockey. I kind of dumped the truck on these hockey.
I don't want to derail anything. I'm putting in bets. So
yeah.
You are.
Wow. Arizona's being outshot 20-4 right now, and they're tied 1-1.
Hey Dave, you're on that. You're on Tulane covering the spread on U of A.
I am. It's absolutely horrifying.
They're getting obliterated.
It's absolutely horrifying.
I'm on the same thing.
Yeah.
I can't wait to bet U of A to the tournament.
Oh yeah, they're a tournament team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, here's the
definitely.
deal. They're good, but just looking at everything, it just seemed like way too many points against a decent team. But Houston's.
And apparently they weren't looking ahead to Saturday against East Carolina.
Yeah. Houston, if not the best team, one of the top two. Them in Alabama are at.
Yeah, they're definitely top three. Definitely.
But there isn't a college team that I'm looking at this year. I'm like, they're going to win the bracket.
Yeah, that's going to be a good. It's going to be a good tournament, I think.
It's going to be good, and we're going to be at Public-Palooza cheering it on, buddy, because it's going to be the Elite
I wish
Eight,
I could be there.
because the Final Four will be the next week. Yeah, It's going to be the Elite Eight when we're down there. All right, man.
You going, Dave?
Oh yeah.
All right.
Oh yeah.
See occupancy. I told you, we're all going, buddy. You're gonna have to join the party, sir. You have to join.
I have a stupid thing called classes.
Aw. Oh well. It's always next year. All right, man.
I'll be able to do it in a few years. We're good.
Let's move on to this Sabres and Lightning game. Lightning are 11-4 at home versus the West. The Sabres are 5-6 on the road versus the East, 6-9-1 versus their division. So Lightning came off a big win last night. I cashed because they were coming off a loss, and I believe they're going to destroy the Ducks, which they did. Took the team total over, all that shit, cashed it all. So they cashed me in very well last night. But let's talk about this game, because they might not necessarily do the same against Buffalo. But I know that a lot of y'all are low on Buffalo. Y'all think Buffalo are frauds. I like the Lightning as well, but let's talk it out. So occupancy. Let's start with you. Sabres and Lightning. What were you looking at?
Yeah, we're looking at some trends here. Tampa last 4 games have gone over the total. The only one was that Arizona 0-0 in reg game and shootout. Connor Ingram made 44 saves or something like that. And Tampa, also a team I like to back this time of year. Buffalo was really fun, like betting them early on. Like I love betting their team totals, and going ham on the Buffalo money line was really cool for a long time, and I love doing it. Ultimately, this game to me is going to come down to who can solve the puzzle first. Is like you get the Buffalo goalie shaky and then open the dam. That's kind of like how Buffalo collapses. That's how they did it last game. Or do you get Tampa to kind of hang around too long, playing chip and chase and not, cycling and getting their things set up with a power play. When I bet Lightning games, I really want to know that they have an edge on their opponent. And the one thing keeping me off that is that Buffalo is still a profitable team on the money line this year, 28-27. You're up almost 5 units. So that's why I'm not rushing to back Tampa here. This ultimately might come down to a prop game. I bet pretty much the same props with Tampa every game. I've kind of laid off them, though, a little bit because they get it interesting too when you guys got like Colton, Hagel, and Paul. When those guys start producing, then kind of the prices you usually pay for Tampa's players like Kucherov, Stamkos. You got to lay a little bit higher number for those guys. So like I also don't mess necessarily with them all the time. Like I like obviously having those big guns on the card, but I don't do it every game. And Buffalo, how have they been playing on defense? I mean, that's why it's great to talk this out with you guys as well. So I'm interested to hear what you guys say. I mean, I know you cashed LJ with a Tampa team total. And first glance on the card, that's where I was going to go. So, definitely excited to hear what you guys have to think about it.
Okay, Nick, what you got?
Yeah, here's how I like to approach Buffalo games: is when do we want to back the Buffalo Sabres? And there has been a pretty specific situation on how you back the Sabres this year. On the road against a quality opponent. You're getting a nice big plus price tag with it, and you back them against playoff teams, playoff caliber teams on the road. Because this Buffalo team on the road is 17, 8, and 2. Here are some of the teams they've beaten: Winnipeg on the road, Dallas on the road, Nashville, which they're a bubble team, Washington when they were getting healthy. They went into TD Garden and beat the Bruins. They won in Vegas. They won in Colorado. They have won. Where was the other game? There was another team they beat on the road as well earlier in the season. Edmonton, Calgary, Vancouver before they fell apart. Like this is a team that goes on the road and can win tough road games in hostile environments. Give me the Buffalo Sabres here at plus 197. I'm interested in them here. I think this line is too much. My projections in this game say that the Lightning should be more like a minus 180, minus 185, and they're laying 230. So I grabbed the Sabres here at plus 197. I think this line is a little inflated, based probably a little bit on recency bias as well. Buffalo, they beat San Jose, they beat Anaheim on the West Coast there. They lost to the Kings, but this is a team coming back who came back off a long West Coast road trip and laid an egg against Toronto. I think they could potentially bounce back here and potentially get a win as a big underdog here against Tampa Bay. So I'm taking a shot with Buffalo here.
Nick, I agree. I think Buffalo can easily get the win here. I think this could be a game where you could have the Tampa team total and the Sabres money line. I mean, I don't have the trends on it, and I can't tell you season stats on it, but I know that is a certain way to play some of these games if you think it's going to be high scoring. But I wouldn't
play a team total on an opposite side that I'm playing a money line on.
Some people do it, dude. Some people do it.
For me personally, I don't, because that doesn't correlate to me. If I play the money line, I think Buffalo wins this game.
So I don't either. And what I was going to say was I think the plus 197, plus 200 almost for the Sabres would be a reason if you had to go on a money line side. I think you get a great value there. You're not always getting that high of a number, I think. So I think if you were to back them, it's a great time to do it. And look, Tampa, we know as well, they can just coast. They can coast more than any other team, so yeah, it could be a great time. I got to kind of see, what other people think about it, I think, before I make my decision. But I'm
not bad at the Buffalo because they're 17-8 against the spread on the road. So they play good on the road. Yeah,
I want to do draw double chance on the Red Wings tomorrow. That could be an interesting look.
Dave, you got anything on this one?
No. Two teams I haven't bet much, and well, that's not true. When the Sabres were on one of their runs, I was getting behind Tim because we all know Tim's a Sabres fan. But honestly, the Sabres stink, and the Lightning are really good, and the line sucks, and the total's at 7, and I don't bet props. So
minus 1.5.
Well, and the one thing I'm against, just like in baseball, is I have to have an overly compelling reason to bet a favorite puck line or run line, and I don't have one. So this could be I have no feel on this game, so I'm just going to pass it to Mike. There's plenty of other shit to bet on.
All right, Mike, the floor is yours.
Yeah, I didn't know we were smoking crack before this thing started because you guys are fucking crazy with that Sabres talk against Tampa Bay. They're just, I don't want to, it is what it is. And friends don't talk friends off dogs, but I just don't know. I mean, if I was going to look at this game from a player prop perspective, Golifson for the Sabres likes to score. Duke, Skinner, Thompson are all great guys to get out there and put some shots on goal, but you're going to have Vasilevsky out there. Another stat that I was looking at is, well, first and foremost, we know that they got whipped up the other day by Toronto, right? That was a game where some folks were saying, the Sabres are going to be competitive. They're going to be competitive. They weren't competitive. And it wasn't until the Toronto checked out and it decided to move on to the next game that they finally put some goals in. So I think there's an element that they used a little too much of it up. I also look at it and think Tampa Bay's won 7 in a row as a home favorite against the Buffalo Sabres. Kind of goes back to my thoughts around how they match up in the division. And when you look at these teams, offensive versus defensive, right? So you got Vasilevsky. More than likely he's going to be the guy that goes in net. I don't know that for sure. I think we're still unconfirmed, but I think that's the guy.
Good
and when I look at the way the defense plays for Buffalo right now, here's an interesting stat. 25th in goals, 26th in shooting percentage, 19th in block shots, 32nd in faceoffs won. They have a 12% power play defense, 31st in save percentage, and 30th in power play percentage on defense. It's going to take one or two sloppy calls because they got some tired legs, and they maybe throw the hook out there on a guy that's getting by him, a Kucherov skating by him. They take a penalty. They're going to lose that faceoff. They're going to see Tampa Bay come down and punch it in top shelf, and it's going to get ugly early. So I don't know. It's hard for me to go. I'm a Buffalo guy. I live in the neighborhood, but I just can't do it. I can't see it. And then who do they have after this? They have Florida Panthers coming up next. So, anytime these teams go down to Florida, they seem to play Tampa and then Florida or vice versa. So they do pick up one. If they do happen to win this one, they're absolutely losing to Florida, but I just don't see it. And then they go back and they play what do they have? Washington after that. So the next game after the Florida stretch is Washington, and I think the Ducks are in there. I think they're going to bite their bottom lips. They're going to take a beating these next two games, and they're going to go back to Washington and try to catch up, win, and pick up that streak. The defense is so gassed and tired. They overplay them. They just overuse these guys, and I think you're going to come out with some offensive talent against Tampa, and it's going to get ugly early. But, obviously I'm not too high on Buffalo Sabres.
Maybe Buffalo first period, if you want to cut it down to 20 minutes. Especially after they got their ass whooped last game, you think they come out strong in the first period at the very least.
Yeah. But how are they going to get the puck past? Well, I don't know. I think props are a great play. I actually saw there was a
team, so they can get a couple past Vasilevsky. They're a great offensive team.
So FanDuel has a prop right now where it's Tampa Bay money line and over 5.5 at plus 125. I thought, you know what, that's a you're taking the goals down to 5.5. You're taking the juice out of the Tampa Bay side of the house, and you're just getting a plus 125 look at it. I think Tampa Bay is a good parlay piece. Tampa Bay is going to probably be all over my card in various ways tomorrow. So it's hard for me to. I hate to go against you guys. I respect what you have to say. I don't see it. I think we're at the end of the road for Buffalo.
Yeah, at the end of the day, it's a price play for me.
If you want another look, if they so happily are tied, or if Buffalo is ahead going into the third period, the Lightning are 7-2-1 in the last 10 games in the third period.
Nice.
So
sounds like a Tampa, New Jersey third period money line parlay.
There you go.
I like the size of that too.
There you go. But I can't bet though. I have to do it live. So, but it is what it is. Ducks and Capitals, we can pass because I really don't want to talk about that game. Canucks and Blues, we can also. I just have one thought on that Ducks Capitals game. Just one.
Can I get a quick thought on that one too?
When we all look at it, what are we thinking, right? Capitals can't score, the Ducks can't score. However, the Ducks in this situation against the Capitals are 2-11 straight up. The eye-opening trend is 11-1-1 to the over. So I don't know how they're going to score.
Damn.
But it definitely looks like an over spot tomorrow for that Capitals-Ducks game. I think first glance for everybody is going to be under. And here we go. We've got an opportunity at 11-1-1 for the over. We might even see it 5.5. It's at 6 right now. I certainly wouldn't endorse the Ducks, but I think the natural tendency is going to be the Capitals without Ovechkin as an under team. We all know that, and we've all been making money off it. But this number is kind of jumping off the page at me for an over opportunity.
Yode's goal, by the way.
Over, good.
Dude, I'm just gonna immediately when I think of a bet, I'm just gonna press the button. That's all I gotta say. The past 2 nights,
Mhm.
I've
And
left
here-
about $1,000 on the table.
Yeah. I'm gonna say 2 words on the Anaheim Washington game, and we can move on. Ducks win. Let's go.
I'll say 3 words. Plus 1.5 for the Ducks.
For who?
Here you go.
On the Ducks?
Ducks.
I have 2 words. Let's go.
All right.
But honestly, Ovechkin may be back tomorrow, which makes
Is
me
he?
want to fade
Okay, well, hold on.
Washington even more.
No, I would switch sides if he's back.
I
So is
lean
that the
over
fade
more
the
than
star
anything,
player
but I
coming
think
back?
the Ducks are a great look.
That's 250 shots in a season kind of thing. Where,
But it's the first game back that your star player's returning. That's an easy fade for me.
I thought he was.
Yeah.
They said out indefinitely, which was kind of like okay.
I saw a report that he may be back tomorrow. It's a maybe
Okay.
back tomorrow.
Okay. Well, keep an eye on it. I'm
Yep.
not going to bet it right now.
All right. Canucks and Blues.
Next.
Of course, we're looking at the
1-800
under.
gamer?
I mean, the
Love
over.
it.
I'm sorry. But
Yeah.
Not at a 7. I'm good on the 7.
Yeah, it's a bum
oh, it's
fight.
at a 7?
Yeah, it's at a 7.
Yeah,
No, thank you.
Yeah.
I have made a play in this game.
What's the play?
I'm getting plus money to fade a team that's selling off right now. Give me the Canucks. Plus
Canucks?
113. Yeah, the Canucks.
Yeah.
St. Louis is complete fade material. They have waved the white flag. When you look at their numbers,
I might
last few
take
games,
that as well right
They-
now.
they've been getting their ass whooped the last few games. Not only on the scoreboard, but when you look at like what they're generating, it's diddly shit, and what they're giving up is an awful lot. So this has been a team that, when you look at their advanced analytics, has lost the expected goal battle by at least 1.5 since trading away O'Reilly and Tarasenko. Like, this is a team that's just getting dominated game after game after game in the last 3 games. And I know the Canucks are not the prettiest here, but
Certainly
they're the one we're taking home. I think the Canucks should be the favorite in this game. I'm taking Vancouver.
All right. Anybody else? Any thoughts?
I concur. I think that's a good look.
Yeah, it's a strong lean towards Vancouver. Might bet it right now. Might wait.
I got it plus 100 right now.
Yeah,
Wow.
just-
Plus
I got it
105,
113
yeah.
earlier.
He said
Oh,
plus
that's
1. Yeah.
Tempting, sir. Very, very tempting. But
I think it's a great point about
I
them
might
selling
have to
off.
do that as my video tonight.
yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
They're selling off. Like, that's a great point.
That's a great look. Thing.
All right, Flames and Knights. Anybody?
Flames are playing right now, so this is kind of a tough thing. But if this game plays out, finishes the way it's going to finish right now, because right now is the ultimate Arizona Coyotes game. The Arizona Coyotes are getting absolutely dominated right now. I think the last time I saw it was 28-7 on the shots on goal. Coyotes lead this game 2-1. So this is exactly what I mean. If Calgary is going to absolutely dominate this game against Arizona and lose this game, I want Calgary tomorrow. Because that's one of those where these expected goals that they're putting up are eventually going to turn into actual goals. It's just they're getting dominated right now, and Karel Vejmelka is having a game. So I'm interested in Calgary if this continues.
All right.
Vegas's form is good, though. If it was almost any other team, I'd say I'd agree with you, Nick. Just Vegas's form right now.
Before
Vegas
that
is
loss
playing
last
well
night,
right
they ripped off 5 wins in a row. Granted, they beat Tampa Bay.
Also,
game
I got to
before.
see who's going to be in net for Vegas because I don't know if Hill's still hurt and it's going to be Brossois because I know
Yeah, that's a
Thompson's
good
out
point.
for a while. So it's either going to be Hill or Brossois, and I don't trust
Yeah.
either of them.
That's a good point.
Over.
Yeah, I don't know.
Eventually they're going to break.
This Flames team is really hard to read. They've been messing with
Fucking
everyone
frustrating is what they
for
are.
a long.
'Cause
Yeah.
Advanced analytics wise, they're a top team in the NHL, and they are down 3-1. Cash the team total for Arizona.
Nice.
Ah,
Looking
let's
good.
go.
Good job.
8
Nice.
shots, and they've scored 3 goals.
Dave,
Let's
you
go.
fucking
That's
idiot.
the Calgary Flames for you right there. You just don't know.
Ladar
which-
is
Go up.
fucking ass cheeks.
Well, we still need 3 more goals. So
Yeah, I at least got the team total. Yeah, Toffoli hit a crossbar, and then the Arizona went down the other way and scored on a 3-on-1.
They give a lot of grief about playing in that Arizona building. I think it'd be pretty cool.
I love it. I love
the same.
Mills,
you got 5,000 fans out there. I guess they were saying the locker rooms are shit, but
yeah.
Oh yeah, probably. Well, it's meant for Arizona. It's meant for the Sun Devils, not the Coyotes.
Mill Ave.
You know how loud that's gotta be?
19-year-old co-eds. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
You
3-0.
just got 10 fingers.
That's where you got to do the next
10 fingers, 10,
you gotta...
10 girls. If you got 10 fingers, you need 10 girls. That's it.
I don't know how that translates to the cap, but I definitely know they're going to be popping off if they win. Arizona wins, that city's going to go crazy.
If you've been to Mill Ave, you know what I'm talking about.
Oh yeah, I've been to Mill Ave. I used to live out there. I lived in Mesa. I told you before.
I visited Tempe once. It was pretty dope. I saw an Islanders Yotes game with my coworker. Had some beers, went out into like that old town in or not in Tempe, but like kind of near the stadium. It was pretty good.
Yeah,
it's just boring as shit out there.
I want to go there and see.
You were bored out there?
Fuck yeah, it's boring as hell in Arizona.
But the thing is, you were married though, probably, huh?
Yeah, it was.
That
ain't got nothing to do with
it. I'm just saying, it's a horrible thing to be. Well, we're getting to be old men, but to be younger and to be in Tempe and to be married.
Well, okay, yeah, I get what you're saying. I wasn't young. I was much older.
I got you.
I get it. But still, it was just a struggle just to go out on a date to find something to do. I guess just because I was so used to a fast-paced city.
Mm-hmm.
It's slow. Arizona's real slow and dry, so But they have casinos, so I probably would enjoy it now because they have casinos. I wasn't betting back then when I was living there, so it may have been a different story back. But
those cities are blowing up now. They're growing up, so that'd be some fun. I don't know. Seems like it'd be cool to play.
Phoenix is actually a really cool place. Just to each their own. But I don't know when you were there, but it's nice.
I was there in 2003 to 2005.
It's changed since then.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure that. All right, let's move on, man. We got the Bruins and the Kraken. Tim, you're Kraken. What we got?
Nick? Sorry.
Nick, I'm sorry. Damn, man. I'm high, man. I'm sorry.
Well, yeah. I'm pretty sure most people know how I feel about the Kraken. I have a ticket for them plus 550 to miss the playoffs that I bet like a couple weeks ago. And this is a revenge spot. This is one of my favorite plays on the slate tomorrow. This is a revenge spot where last time these two teams played, Seattle went into Boston, shut them out 4-0. They're going to flip the script on this one. This is a 5-1 Boston type of game. Give me the Bruins -1, and I think probably Kraken team total under is probably a decent look as well because I think that we could potentially see Boston give up 1 goal max. Honestly, is kind of the way I'm looking at it here. This is a 3-1, 4-1 Boston type of win where they're gonna dominate this game, and I don't care who's in net for Seattle because both of them are subpar goaltenders. Martin Jones had a good start to the year. That's great. We haven't seen him play a full season quality, and I don't think his entire career. So he's somebody that I'm definitely looking to fade down the stretch. And Grubauer's been very hit or miss, so I can definitely see this as a Kraken team that's going to demise here. 3-2 now in that Coyotes game. Flames goal.
Goal.
Yep. But I like the Bruins in this spot, and I'm going to probably look towards the Kraken team total under as well.
There's going to be 12 goals in that game.
Yeah,
I like it because
I
revenge spot. Bruins 8-1-2 versus the Pacific, 7-1 at home versus the West. Well, they're on the road. I'm sorry, they're on the road versus the West, right? 7-1. Yeah, 7-1 on the road versus the West. So yeah, I'm all on the Bruins tomorrow, bro. I'm all on them. But
plus, I don't think Seattle doesn't carry a real solid home record either, right? They're kind of they do well on the road.
They're a better road team. Yeah.
Yeah, when they get home, they kind of struggle. I'll tell you the look I have. So I said it earlier, Tampa Bay is a parlay piece. If I slap in Tampa and Boston as my parlay spot there, I got a plus 127 number right now between Tampa and Boston just to win outright. Plus 127. Takes a lot of the him and Han out of it. I do like Boston in regulation. I think that Seattle team total under is a good look too. So I love that revenge spot for Boston. They're one of the most dominant teams. Them and Carolina are two of the most dominant teams in the NHL in a revenge spot. So I think those are good looks. And again, that Tampa-Boston plus money parlay is, hey, they just got to win. Yeah, two teams just have to win. What could go wrong?
Locking it in right now. I love it. Anybody else? Thoughts?
Ref just went down in Calgary, Arizona game. It was
I
okay.
saw that.
This Boston game, I think I found my dance partner. Mike has it. I think with the Tampa and Boston, or maybe New Jersey, Boston kind of thing. That's sort of the way I'm looking.
Rangers in Boston.
Something Dave was doing too before with looking at the level of competition at Seattle. Their wins are against the Red Wings, Flyers, and the Blue Jackets. Their losses are against the Sharks, the Jets, the Rangers, the Devils, the Islanders, and the Flames. So, I think the veil gets lifted, and it's fun to ride teams early on. There's trends. There's Matty Benier's point props. It's all fun and games until this, rolls around and Boston and other teams put the clamp down. This is that time of year. And I think what Nick said as well. I mean, I think there's issues at the back end. And I think that those issues for years, why do you think Grubauer isn't in a Colorado jersey anymore? I mean, I don't want to be mean. And I know he has Red Rock shows and he's super cool, that guy and shit, but he's not a great goalie. I mean, and I think same with Martin Jones, people were kind of, and that's a tie 3-3. Yeah, there we go. Also, people are
Let's go.
We can't lose the bet.
See, we can all be on the same side and make money. Let's go.
The overhits. There we go.
So to that point about adding to the parlay, right? So Tampa Bay and Boston's a plus 120. This might be a play I roll out. Tampa Bay, Boston's plus 127. I just locked that in. If you add New Jersey to it goes to plus 275. And then if you add the Rangers to it goes up to plus 501. So 4-leg parlay plus 500 is
just do Rangers and Boston. Rangers and Boston. That's all you had to do. You could stop right there. You can stop right there.
I think they're all definite. Those teams are. Look, I don't. People were saying Seattle did a great job in their draft. I'm going to stand out there and put my neck out and say no way. Why don't you follow
season acquisitions? They did not do good in the expansion draft. They did not have the draft that Vegas did.
Vegas put a draft of a franchise expansion draft together that every team in every sport should look at. The way they maneuvered, the way they calculated, the way they got draft picks, the way they helped other teams lock players down off the exemption list. That was the prototypical way to build success right off the gate, get the fan base on your back and everything else. Seattle's going to fight through it, I think, for the next couple of years. And, might they get there? Maybe, but there are just a lot of pieces that are missing right now for Seattle to be relevant. They had a great start to the season, but I don't know. I just don't think that, especially at home, you can't win at home. What is that? The zero emissions or the zero footprint or zero whatever it is. Isn't it an all natural? I mean, there's some cool things. There's some cool things they're doing out there, but I just I don't think they got it right now. And I think we're going to see, just like my earlier prognostication of Buffalo dropping off, we're going to see the same thing with Seattle. So I think that's it. We can get some nice money off of fading those guys down the stretch. Somebody mentioned it earlier. I like them missing the playoffs. What was it? 5-1 to miss the playoffs?
I got plus 550. I saw this morning you got $7 for it.
You can get under 100.5 points for plus price, I believe.
I like that a lot. They are not a 100-point hockey team. They're not.
Fucking
minus 105.
Minus 105 for under 100.5. Where the hell is this?
Oh, wait. Hold on. That was Oilers. My bad. Kraken one's not up.
Everybody knows. Everybody knows they're not going to make it.
I want to grab the under. I need to know what book that's on so I can bet it.
Yeah, Markel down there in the chat says the under for the Bruins game too. I think that correlates with Nick's talk about the Seattle team total under too.
That's the only look. If I had to bet the game, which I'm not, that's the look because it's trending to the under on both sides. But problem is the Bruins are capable of scoring 6 goals by themselves.
That's why I would rather the Kraken team total under rather than the full game under, because
Yeah.
I could see this being a 4-1 game, and for no reason Boston puts up a fifth.
Who's the
Just
schmuck
because
that's
they
in? Is Kokkinen, right? He's their backup.
Kokkinen's a Shark.
Shark. Okay. Who are the goalie? That shows how much about the Kraken. Who's the shitty ass goalie that's there?
Martin Jones.
Yeah.
He's not. He is. So you could get. I'm seeing Boston minus 170. Might just take that. I mean, is that too much?
I don't think so. I mean, I don't like to lay juice like that, but it's a late game, so most of my cash will be back in my account by that point. So I think
See, you guys got me wanting to you want to gamble. Like I'm thinking about three-legging the Devils, the Bruins, and the Lightning. But that, I mean,
I wanted to do it as well. I'm just not convinced on the Lightning.
Yeah,
I'm not convinced on the Devils either. Like, but I'm sure
Nick having strong looks the other way kind of puts the asterisk in there. I still don't.
For the Lightning, yeah, I agree. If it wasn't for Nick, I'd be on Lightning.
I just think this is just too big of a line, honestly.
What about an Oilers plus 1.5 and a Bruins money line? What's the juice on that? Just in case Edmonton loses in OT or some bullshit, because we're all on the money line.
Yeah, that's a possibility.
Or their team total or something, or like just little hedge on that Edmonton, and then because I still want to lock in Boston before the show ends. Like I think it's a good spot for everyone.
Simple is to take Boston -1 or puck line if you want.
The -1.
I got -1 for -103.
But do you have a -1 line, or do you just put into -1.5 and a money line?
I'm gonna put that in the private chat here. I have a -1 calculator.
Yeah.
Blackhawks scored.
Damn it! This under is dead in that Blackhawks game.
It's getting tight.
Was it 5.5?
Who got the third one for Calgary?
6 was pregame, and then I went up to 6.5. Dropped down to 5.5. Still an opportunity. We just have half the game to go. If we're trending with the first half of the game, we're going to see 100 goals scored.
Yeah.
I still need.
All right, we got the last game, Predators and Sharks. So if y'all had anything on that one, Predators and Sharks, anybody?
I want the Preds. I don't have a line for it yet.
So I did see another trend in there as well. The Sharks Predators. The Sharks are in a 1-12 spot, but it's a 9-4 to the over spot. So it would suggest there's going to be some scoring based on kind
the
of
Sharks are plus 110. Predators are -130. That's what I have.
The Sharks are in a 1-12 spot. So that's I've got the Sharks in a 1-12 spot. Just kind of based on some of their numbers and how it has to do with how Vegas is playing as well. So it's kind of a correlated spot for San Jose, but San Jose is in a 1-12 straight up spot. Losing by it has to do with Vegas Golden Knights playing on the same night as the Sharks. When that's happened, and the lines between plus 150 and minus 150 for the other side, they've lost 4-2 to the Sabres, 2-1 to the Vegas, 3-1 to the Penguins, 5-4 to the Ducks. They did beat the Stars 5-4. They lost to the Blues 5-3. They lost to the Ducks 5-4. And they're losing to bad teams. So we've got a good number on Nashville right now. That might just be. My
question is, how the fuck does that correlate? How does Vegas playing on the same night as San Jose correlate to anything?
It's just a trend that comes out of the pipes. It's a 1-12. It's not like we're talking about an 11-12. It's a 1-12 spot, and it has to do, I think, with these teams when they play.
That's why I giggled. I giggled when he said that because I don't know if anyone else caught that, but like.
Going back to October
14th. The Sharks don't win 2 in a row.
You want to poke the bear? This is Magic Mike over here. You want to poke the bear?
Hey,
laugh all you want.
Hey, if you can, son, you can laugh all the way to the bank, buddy.
It's a fair price. I think Saros props are in play. He puts up record numbers. I think Nashville -1. I gotta click that link that Nick sent because I do want. I think Boston -1. I'm gonna try to make official.
Yeah, I've already
got to. Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, I gotta get to that.
Yeah, I'm on. Y'all convinced me for Boston. Y'all convinced me Rangers, and I'm leaning towards the Devils, and I'm leaning towards that Canucks plus 113 money line over the Bruins.
I just locked in the Oilers right now. That's the one I.
Yeah, I still need to ponder that too. I may lean over on that one too. But that's hockey, guys. If y'all had anything else. If y'all want to stay on for the NBA segment, because This is what I've been waiting on because the NBA's back. I had time to do my numbers, and I'm about to cash real hard, buddy, because there's some teams that we can bet on. That I can give y'all some situations to where we can get some nice futures, man. So did y'all have anything else on NHL?
No, I think we covered it pretty
No,
well.
thank you for LJ. It was awesome.
Yeah.
I'm gonna just get some basketball numbers, but I might hop back on. But thank you for having me.
Thank you, sir, for
Yeah, I'd
spending
love to
time.
run it back with you guys. Might pop back in with some NBA numbers as well. But
Okay.
yeah, good. Yeah, good. Good
I'll
seeing you
back
guys.
in however you choose, buddy.
Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you.
Good stuff.
Good luck, everyone.
All right, buddy. All right, guys. So this is what we're looking at. Let me bring up the schedule. I know the first game is Denver and the Cavs. Am I correct?
Yes.
Yes, Denver and the Cavs. So this is how we're going to look at this game, man. Both of these teams, well, I'm just going to say this. Denver has been a good first quarter team as most of the season. You know, they're 33-25-1 first quarter ATS. But they're 3-7 in their last 10. So they've been trending down in the first quarter. But they've been coming back in the second half. So the Cavs, they are a good first half team. And to the under. This is a trend that y'all should write down for the Cavs. Hold on, let me get it. Because I've been cashing this all year long. The Cavs. Hold on, be patient with me. The Cavs are 22-10 to the first half under at home.
Wow.
14-4 in their last 18 games to the under at home. 9-2 in their last 11 first half under. So I believe that that's going to cash because Denver has only been averaging maybe like 55 points in the last 3 games in the first half. And the Cavs, they are the number 1 team in the NBA in points allowed, first half and full game. So my bet is definitely going to be the Cavs first half under, and I may leave the Cavs full game, but I'm just going to wait it out just to see, make sure everybody's confirmed in, even though they're saying there's no injuries right now. You never know. It may pop up, but I'm definitely going to lock in the first half under because like I mentioned, 22-10 first half under at home. So that's just something I can't ignore. So anybody else thoughts on Denver and Cavs?
I like that look a lot. I know the Cavs have been a solid first quarter team and a first half team on the spread, but I know the Cavs first quarter. I don't have the numbers in front of me for it, but I know that was just an ATM machine for the longest time towards going into the All-Star break. So I like that Cavs first quarter. I've made some money off of that. I'm going to definitely go with your under there too. That sounds like a good spot.
Oh yeah, Blackhawks scored again, bro. I think our unders are done. Damn.
Yeah, it is.
You know who it was though?
Patrick Kane.
Huh?
Oh, God.
Eddie Kane.
Oh.
So yeah, definitely Cavs under, like I just mentioned. You wanted the first quarter stats for the Cavs?
Yeah.
They are 9-3 straight up in their last 12 in the first quarter, 8-3 in their last 11 ATS in the first quarter. So yeah, you're right. They are a good training first quarter team. So I wouldn't be at the first quarter either, but I'm just gonna stick to what's been working for me.
Sure.
First half under at home with the Cavs is probably the best bet that you can make.
What scares me about the first quarter play coming off the All-Star break and the extended vacation time is you don't know what team's going to show up. But I think that under correlates with time off, right? So you got guys that are going to probably start slow. They're probably going to miss a couple shots. That kind of works for me. So I'll probably get on that Cavs first quarter too, just because it's a creature of habit. But I'm definitely going to follow that under first half.
Yeah,
that's my whole sentiment about any sport coming off the All-Star break is really treading lightly, just at the beginning of the season. For a lot of sports, I will say this: looking at all the games, this game is the one that I probably will and will bet. I don't think I'm going to bet any other bets. And there's 2, and they're bets that I've had. The Cavs at home have been a thing. I know that's very simple, but the Cavs at home, and I don't think that that's something that necessarily should be affected by a break. It could be, you never know, but that's that. And then Cleveland's playing a good team, and I was on Jared Allen's PRA for like 5 or 6 games, and it kind of teetered off. But I think that I need to look at what it is. It's just me spitballing, but that's the other bet I'm going to look, because when he's in the game, and it's either him or Donovan Mitchell.
Yeah, you can always go Donovan Mitchell points. That's not a bad prop as well.
Yeah.
But I like the Cavs are money at home. They're 10-3 at home versus the West on the season.
Yeah,
so.
even recent streaks are 6-2 ATS last 8 games, but 6-1 their last 7 at home.
Yeah. So yeah, I would definitely bet money on the Cavs to win at home. But like I said, I don't like taking a lot of bets in one game because you tend to start chasing and lose. So like I said, first half under for the Cavs at home is what the bet is. So we'll pay attention to that one. But far as that, yeah, that would be my play for them. And I think the Cavs are a bet on team because they're going to be battling in that Eastern Conference with the Bucks, the Sixers, and Boston. And they still may be one piece away, though. You know, I like the Donovan Mitchell addition. They got Garland in the backcourt as well. But when Donovan Mitchell goes out the game, you know, they still need another player that can pick up that scoring slack and not so much depend on Darius Garland to try to score and facilitate, because he could probably be off the court too. So I just think that they need that one more piece that can maintain the offensive production while their stars are on the bench, because that's how teams win championships. You know, they have players come off the bench that could keep that game, you know, in a reaching to where the stars can come back and, you know, come to the end and pull off the victory. So, but I'll be paying attention to the Cavs.
Looks like the Blackhawks popped one in there.
Yeah, 3-2.
Yep, it's over.
Not 3-3.
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
Y'all faster than me.
Shit.
Ain't that a bitch?
Well, at least Patrick Kane got it. Man, I really jammed that one up too.
All right, let's move on to the next game. Celtics and the Pacers. I'm a guy that does not bet on the Celtics. It's just something that I choose to do. They burn me a lot of times, especially when I bet them, they lose. But when I don't bet them, they win. So I just decided to stay away from them. But they play in the Pacers. And we do know the horrible record for the Pacers in the first quarter. They are 17-42-1 first quarter ATS, 8-23-1 at home. So the bet, of course, is the Celtics first quarter, if you choose to bet that. But I'm not going to bet it because, like I said, I don't like betting on the Celtics. It's just a personal thing for me. But if I was to convince you to make something in this game, it's definitely going to be the Celtics first quarter. And I would just get in, get out, because Indiana's a good second quarter team as well. So they could probably come back and cover that first half spread on the Celtics, you know. But let's just stay safe, stick to what's the trend, fade Indiana first quarter at home, especially at home. But first quarter period, but first quarter at home is a definite fade for Indiana. So, any thoughts?
On a side note, not to go back to hockey here, but what a kick in the dick. Last night I had Patrick Kane to score a goal, and I had Patrick Kane to get 2 goals at plus 1,200. And I thought to myself, well, it didn't hit last night, so I should probably play it tonight. I did the single goal, plus 220. I didn't do the second goal, and he got 2 goals tonight already. Son of a bitch. I don't know how you guys feel about that, but when you miss a spot, do you go back to it the next night thinking it's going to hit because you missed it the first night? Like you're 1 game too early?
Yeah.
But you know, that goal, I went and rewatched that goal last night over and over and over. That was fucking exciting. I wish I was watching it live and Nick wasn't calling it. That was like old school. That's like a video game or something. Anyway.
So LJ, there was one prop that I did have that was a strong look from this betting prop tool that I have. It's Halliburton over 2.5 threes. It's plus 118 right now. Assuming he goes. That might not be a bad look. Come out there, to your point, with the way the Celtics can play and come out early or not. You know, this is an opportunity where I think he's going to see some playing time. I don't think they're going to mop the floor up with them. I hate the Pacers. I'd rather lose money betting against the Pacers and they win than win money betting on the Pacers. But I do like Halliburton as a 3-point prop there.
I like Buddy Hield too because the Celtics, they shoot a lot of threes, and the Indiana, they got a high good percentage at the 3-point line as well. But Buddy Hield's shooting 42% from the 3-point line. He's making 4 out of 9 attempts, and he's had 4+ 6 out of his last 7 games. So, Buddy Hield's a good prop look as well in this game, but I'm not mad at your Halliburton either because both of them are in the backcourt, and the Celtics give up threes, and they shoot threes too. So it's all about them hitting their threes, but sometimes they can be streaky, and they continue to rely on that three-point shot, and they tend to fall out of games, and that's why I like betting on them because they're too inconsistent if they're not hitting that three. They can't find another way to score because they don't have a real dominant presence inside with Robert Williams and Horford. They're more rebounding putback guys. They're not really throw the ball down to them and run a play through them. You get what I'm trying to say? So it's more of the backcourt and the wing coming from Tatum is their offensive production is coming from. So, but yeah, I won't be mad. Halliburton, Buddy Hield 3 props, even Tatum points, of course, because he's the superstar on the Celtics. So, but other than that, Celtics first quarter. If you choose to bet that, I'm not betting the game because I don't like the Celtics. But Nick, do you have anything on this one?
My numbers are 5.5 for this game, so I'm probably going to grab the Pacers with getting the points.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not too sophisticated to betting NBA. I just follow what my numbers say and whenever my numbers present as value, and I see value on Indiana with 8.5 tomorrow.
Hey, I'm not mad because Indiana beat them the last game, I think. So the Celtics are in a revenge spot right here. But Indiana, like I said, they're a feisty team and they play good at home. So fade them in the first quarter. After that, it's a toss-up because it just depends.
I'll take 8.5 points with the home dog.
Yeah, I agree.
The dog has won the last 4 games against the Celtics at Indiana.
There you go. So yeah, I wouldn't be mad, like I said, but I'm just gonna choose to just take the first. Like I said, if you choose to take the first. But Pistons and Magic. I've been doing some numbers on the Magic, and the Magic are a good second quarter team. Let me get my notes because I had it wrote down. Ooh, I have it wrote down right here. The Magic are 10-3. Wait, no. That's first half. I had a second quarter for them. Hold on, let me look it up. I'm sorry. But they are 10-3 straight up in the last 13 in the first half. 14-7 ATS in the last 21 games. That's a 5+ dog. But they're the favorite versus Detroit. And Detroit is another team that you fade in the first quarter. 9-20 at home. But on the road, they're 14-14. So I will be careful fading them on the road in the first quarter. But at home, it's an automatic fade. 9-20. So, but as far as the side, I would look towards the Magic, to be honest with you, because Detroit's such a sorry team. And the Magic has some players that could, put the ball in the bucket. But as far as just sticking to an advantage that they have, I'm gonna take the second quarter. I just need to find the number of where it's at. Hold on. Orlando, here we go. 7-1 straight up in the second quarter in their last 8 games. They're 10-3 straight up in the second quarter since January on the road. And they're 8-1 in their last 9 straight up in the second quarter on the road versus the East. Now, they're at home, so it doesn't apply to that. But at the same time, 7-1 straight up in the second quarter in the last 8 games. So they tend to, lose the first quarter, come back in that second quarter and cover that first half spread. So that's just something to look at. If anybody y'all looking to bet that game, look at Orlando first half. But if you want to just key in on one specific spot, second quarter is where Orlando makes their money. So
you do really well with those second or third quarter looks too. When you get those quarter spots, I notice they hit at a high rate, and I'm always like, shit, why did I get that? Or I was too late to try to get it. So I'm gonna put a star next to that one. That sounds like a good look.
Yeah, I just try to find the spots, man, where I could get the advantage. I don't like to bet full games, like I said. I'm trying to find where these teams are weak and where their advantages are. And Orlando, second quarter is where their money's making right there. So that's the look right there. Anybody else on this game? Detroit, Orlando, Nick, Dave?
I grabbed the over 226.5 in this game. My numbers had this run at 230 and 230.5, 231 range. So I saw a little value on the over. That's one of the 3 spots I bet for tomorrow. Pacers, the over, and I have one more game. after this. I'm very selective
Okay.
with the NBA, and I don't go too in depth with it. So I only have 3 plays.
Well, this is why you got people like me.
Yeah.
Because I go too deep. I think I go too deep sometimes to where, I'm trying to find too much money. But Dave,
So the only other go ahead, sorry. Dave, you're muted.
Oh, you muted.
The Magic are one of my moneymakers, but as dogs, not as 6.5 point favorites. They haven't played in the favorite role that often, but when they have been the favorite role, they are 2-4 as the favorite, 2-3 as the home favorite. I'm also not confident on betting the Pistons unless they get in double digits. So no thank you for this game. But both of these teams, when they're double-digit favorites, usually I'm finding ways to bet them. But when anyway, if I have gun to my head, I'm picking the Pistons, but I'm not betting this game.
So this game does qualify for the trifecta overlook. So I'm going to put that down there as well.
Yes, I like to hear that. I bet the over.
Yeah. Well, that definitely reinforces it, right? So the first half over, the full game over, and the first half team total over for the Magic are the 3 looks in that trifecta over.
I like it.
So
I like it.
When the teams played the third time, the team lost the previous 2, and they're a favorite going into that third game. That's kind of that's where the Magic all aligns. And then there's some shooting props behind it. They have to shoot less than 45% from the 3 of the previous game they played. That's kind of how it works. But trifecta over it is.
Trifecta it is. All right. Well, we can move on to this next game because this next game is going to be very interesting. We got Memphis and the 76ers. The 76ers are 15-5 in their last 20 games. They're 26-8 in the last 34 games. Memphis is 11-9 in the last 20, 21-14 in the last 35, but they're only 4-9 in their last 13 games. So they've been on a little bit of slide. But when you play Memphis, you got to take them at home because when they're on the road, they're not much successful, especially versus the West. But this is the East. And the 76ers, first quarter is where we look at them. And we look at first half for Memphis. So, but the fact that Memphis is on the road in this game, I don't believe I'm going to take Memphis in the first half because I trust them more at home in the first half, which they're 28-1 ATS. But they're not necessarily that good on the road in the first half. They put up points, but I'd rather trust them at home. Now, Philly, they're 55-2 straight up in the last 23 games in the first quarter, 6-4-1 in their last 11. So this is where you take them. They come out, especially at home, which they've had an amazing record at home as of late. And definitely versus the East, the West, I'm sorry. The Sixers are 14-5 at home versus the West, 9-3 versus the East. So, yeah, they have a great record at home versus the season. So I'm going to lean 76ers first quarter, and I may take them for a game because interesting stat about Memphis is 3-14 on the road versus teams with the winning record. So that applies tomorrow because the Sixers have a winning record. So I believe that we can fade Memphis tomorrow on the road versus the 76ers. But later on in the rest of this season, I went through their record, and they don't play a lot of teams that have an above 500 records. They have the 76ers, they have Denver, and they have the Lakers to end the month. Going into March, they have Rockets, Mavs, Heat, Spurs. Warriors are bad on the road. They got to go to Memphis. They play the Rockets 3 times in March. They play the Hawks, they play the Magic, and they play the Clippers. So Memphis is in a prime spot to keep that second seed in the standings in the West. And I believe that they can continue to keep it. But we got to get Steven Adams back in that lineup for defensive purposes because they're getting killed on the boards. But at the same time, they do put up points. But for this game, I'm going to trust that Philly handle business at home because of the record that they have. and I'm going to trust that they come out in the gate in the first quarter, considering the ATS record that they have in the first quarter. So, any thoughts? Anybody?
The line's correct for me. No play for me.
I think it's real close. This is a game that I definitely want to see a couple games with both of these teams to see how they're doing after the All-Star break. I definitely say Adams is a big question mark. Embiid for me is constantly a question mark. I see him as real streaky. And by the way, the Sixers are going to live and die by Embiid. I don't care. Harden this or fucking whoever else. They're going to live or die by their dude. And him coming off of an All-Star break, I see him as more of a passionless guy anyways. I don't know what he did, if he sat around or if he worked out or what. Anyway, there's no angle for me in this game, not even on the total. No play.
Okay.
No thank you.
Mike.
The only piece I would add to that is I see the Grizzlies have lost their last 15 games as a road dog on top of that. So it kind of validates and reinforces what you were saying earlier about, the Sixers, and they're at home and Grizzlies on the road. And, it's going to obviously coming off the All-Star break. I do agree with everything said here. Embiid clogs that paint up. When he's out there, those games go under. He's just a big body, and he gets all those boards. They can't get around him, and he's the guy on that team. So they'll go as far as he goes. But, when it comes to tomorrow's game, I definitely like that Sixers look.
Yeah, that's going to be one of my bets. I haven't bet it yet, but yeah, I'm going to get to the winner with the Sixers, and I'm betting on the Sixers to go to win the East. I'll bet it already as a future. I just believe that this is the time for Embiid and Harden, especially with Harden, because
they're going to lose in the NBA Finals like every other Philly team.
Yeah, you did say that, but as long as they win the East and get to the finals, I cash. They don't have to win the championship, so I'll be
How
good
many
with it.
How many years are we saying that the Sixers should do this, that, and whatever, and
Just for them to
Embiid
lose
should
in
do
the
this,
second
that,
round
or
again.
whatever?
That's the process.
We have.
And you know what? Every year, you know who goes to the finals? Every year, Giannis. That's the guy. That's the real superstar in the
Boston.
East. He's a winner. He's a champion. Well, if I could, you take Giannis over Tatum or this. I think they're overrated. Boston's an overrated team, but I think everyone looks at the 76ers and says, "Oh, they've got all the talent." They do, but Giannis is the dude, and he brings that. And by the way, the Bucks don't have as good of a team around their star that the 76ers do. 76ers have a lot of dudes, but it doesn't work out. So that's all I got to say about that.
Well, the pressure's on this year.
I'll defend my boys as a process of being my boys. You can't just put a bunch of stars together and expect them to gel year one, game one, day one. And that's the expectations are high early and often for every team that's in that situation. Oh, we got this guy and now we're going to win it all. But I think they've had the right time with those pieces in place. They're clearly showing they had a great record last year and they stumbled at the end. No doubt about it. I think there's an opportunity for them. I don't hate them winning the East, and they'll play the Lakers in the championship, and maybe they'll beat the Lakers. All right.
No, I doubt that very much. I'll pick the.
I was going to say you said Warriors or Nuggets wrong.
Huh?
You said Suns wrong.
Yeah.
No,
now you guys are
talk
a bunch
about
of homers.
But let's move to this Pelicans and Raptors game. We got the Raptors laying 5.5 at home versus the Pelicans. The Raptors, you take them in the first quarter, especially at home. 9-2 straight up in their last 11 first quarter at home. 10-4 straight up in their last 14. The Pelicans 2-5 in the last 7 straight up in the first quarter. So that would be the spot for me. The Raptors, they play well in this spot at home, first quarter. I'm not concerned about the rest of the game. And yeah, that would probably be my only play over here. The Raptors are 17. Okay, that's on the road. So they're at home. So yeah, there's nothing else that correlates to this besides the Raptors first quarter at home is what you take. And just get in and get out. Don't worry about anything else because they're inconsistent as well. They can have a lead and lose it too. So let's just take them first quarter, play it safe, get in and get out. So any thoughts? Pelicans and Raptors.
Not the game I got to.
So the highest graded prop I have on the card for tomorrow is Precious Chua under 7.5 rebounds. It's plus 105 right now. So however that correlates to this game, that's a certain look that I've got out there right now. It's literally the highest rated prop out of my little toolkit here. And I think that's just a correlation of his expectation and performance against the number of the lines at, being that it's a plus 105 spot. I wouldn't be surprised to see that click down tomorrow to 6.5 by the time the tip comes in. The second thing to look for is the total on this game. I've got to do a little bit more scrubbing, but we could see an explosive game. And if we see an explosive game, this fits the trifecta over potential model. So the only game I have to do a little bit more. No, I'm sorry. It doesn't. It doesn't. It's that game knocked it out. So I like that. My only look there is the Achua rebounds.
Okay. I won't be mad at Brandon Ingram points as well. You know, he's had 25 plus in 6 straight since he's came back from injury, I believe. So if they're going to score, that's where the scoring is going to come from for the Pelicans. So you might as well just take the star of the team that scores the most points to hit his prop and just, you know, leave it at that, because we're not expecting the Pelicans to probably win the game. You know, they're missing key players, Zion. I think McCullough's been in and out the lineup. So they haven't been consistent in keeping their roster together. And they were good, like, in the first part of the season. You know, they had the number 1 seed in the West at one point before Zion went out. But as of right now, they're trending down. But, you know, I'm going to ride the Raptors first quarter. That's going to be one of my plays tomorrow. I will get to the window. Before it's a 5.5 spread for a game, you can keep that to yourself. So anybody else? Any thoughts? And we can move on.
Is Zion the biggest bust in the NBA draft?
Ever. He's the greatest college player I've ever watched with my own eyes in basketball, and he's done nothing in the NBA. I mean, he's done stuff in the NBA, but he was that he could be a top 5 player of all time if he could slender down and get going. But
yeah, they need to get a trainer for him.
Have you ever seen a guy that's as thick as Shaq move as quick? Watch some of his highlights in college. I mean, it was a beast. He was literally like a mutant X-Men. It was insane.
He just got to learn how to carry that weight and, you know, stop, because he plays
he's got
hard.
No self-control, you know. He's got no self-control.
Yeah, but at some point,
really hard. You know?
Don't you say at some point, like, you got to man up, dude? You're a professional now. Like, you know,
no fucking him and Simmons and AD and all these guys that do what they do. They get hurt all the time. They're wimps.
You make sure to bet Anthony Davis over half an injury scare tomorrow, right? Because he does it every game.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, I have no bet on this game. There's too many question marks. The Toronto is a favorite anytime home or away scares me. Talk about a wishy-washy team that you can't figure out. And then, like I said, the Pelicans don't have, when Ingram's your best player on the court.
Yeah.
No, thank you.
I agree. Like I said, just take his points and move on, man. But next game is the Spurs and the Mavericks. I really don't have a lot on this. You know, Dallas is minus 13.5. You know, that's a lot of
Spurs or nothing for sure.
Yeah, I agree, but I'm not in the business of betting on the Spurs. They give up the most points in the NBA, so I'm not doing that. Now we can look at Dallas second quarter at home versus the West, 12-6 straight up. So that could be a look. Dallas is 13-5 at home versus the West, so money line. I guess you would want to lay that if you want the juice, but definitely pass for me in this game. I just got to see Luka and Kyrie play, see their chemistry and see how they do before I legitimately want to put money on the Mavericks to cover anything. So for me, definitely a pass. So anybody else?
Ready? Bold take for this game?
Pass.
Mavericks money line. Mavericks money line. Okay. I think it's gonna hit. I don't know. It's just no. Thank you.
Yeah, I would probably put my money that way too, but I'm not betting. I'm not betting it. Like I said, there's two teams that need to show me. Well, one team really needs to show me some, cohesion, because the Spurs, they give up the most points in the NBA. So we got Markelle on the Mavs first half.
This is a big total at 234.5 without the injuries or without the status of players. But, it started at 235.5. It opened. It's at 234.5 right now. It's catching some sharp money on the under. But it does fit the model for the trifecta over spot. So I'm going to monitor those injury reports and status of players come game time, and that could very well lead to points and getting that trifecta over. It would be the Mavericks first half team total over, the first half over, and the full game over. But you've got to have players in there with these bigger numbers. I'm assuming, I haven't looked at it, but I'm assuming that first half team total has got to be 62.5 at least.
The other thing too is, and the injuries are already baked in by the time we hear about them. This is basic. What are the Mavs giving up per game? This is basically saying, because we know the Spurs don't play defense. This is basically saying there's going to be no defense.
Yeah.
So I'd like the over.
I was just looking at the player status because who's going to put the points up if some of those key guys are out here? But 64 bench players. 64.5 is a steep number for team total. I don't usually like to take it when it's over 62.5, but the first half's 120.5 on a 235. It does fit. It does fit a lot of the models, so I'm going to keep an eye on that. But you may be seeing me tout off about that tomorrow.
Well, think about it this way, Mike. It kind of in the NBA is the toughest sport of all of the major leagues to get in, or all of the professional sports to get into. They've got the least amount of players. There's the most amount in college, but the smallest teams. So these guys are all really, really good. And if you put a bunch of second stringers up a bunch of second stringers that don't want to play defense, they're still going to be able to shoot and score. So that's kind of why it almost doesn't even – you almost want to look at defensive players that are in or out versus offensive players, because these bench players versus a defenseless team can put up, 120 points.
Yeah.
Calgary just punched in back-to-back goals.
Oh, it's 5-3 now?
We love it.
Wow.
Crazy.
Alabama
what's the Coyotes
almost got upset.
What's that?
It's 78-76 Alabama in overtime right now.
Wow.
0.9 seconds left.
Boy, I took that 17.5. I was like, it seems like a big number given what some of the issues are that they have going on off the court. I thought that was a good look.
Yeah, I've been quiet because I've been distracted live betting, and this Fordham game barely fucking covered. Stupid. But we won.
Barely missed out on
that Houston game was Houston. I mean, Tulane didn't play bad, but
the Ramblers, didn't get the Ramblers there.
Oh, you had Loyola?
Yeah, I had Loyola plus 1.5.
Yeah. Well,
what happened?
Fordham covered. What happened is with 7 seconds left, Fordham was up 5 points. Loyola threw it down the court, and he made a 3. So then they were within 2, and the guy they fouled Fordham. He didn't make either of his shots, so they had 3 seconds left, and Loyola couldn't get the ball off, so they covered by half a point. Anyway, that's what I was watching. Excitement.
South Carolina just hit the rim on a half-court heave trying to win the game. Alabama escaped.
All right, I got the next game. We got the Thunder versus the Jazz. The Jazz are laying 2. And this is my free play that I'm going to make the video when we're done with this show. I'm all on Oklahoma City, man. I've already bet it, +2. I think I took the money line as well. Oklahoma City is 17-6-1 as an ATS dog on the road. They're 5-1 in their last 6 versus the division. They've covered the last 3 road games versus the division. Mind you, Utah 8-13 ATS as a home favorite. They have a losing record as a straight-up favorite, and they're 1-5 in the division in their last 6 games. So that's definitely going to put me on Oklahoma City. And I see that Saxon has already been ruled out for the Jazz, so they don't have a point guard. So that means that Clarkson has to move to the ball handling position. And you know what that means? When shooters have to handle the ball, they turn the ball over. So I believe that the Jazz are going to have a high turnover rate tomorrow. And I believe Oklahoma City is going to go in there and win that game out straight out. So I believe the Raw team is favored. It's my best bet of the day. And like I said, This is my free pick video that I will be putting out later tonight. So any thoughts? Oklahoma City and the Jazz.
Clarkson over 3s. You know what? I know that the Jazz have been ass at home. I know that the Thunder. I hope they're going to go to the playoffs. I think they will if they keep rolling. Problem is the Thunder for me were a bet on team because they got disrespectful lines and they were constantly double-digit dogs. Now they're not going to be. But the fact that it's such a thin line, like I said, the Cavs is going to be the game I think I'm for sure betting. This is number 2 for me. I'm not betting it yet, but the Thunder being a 2. Thunder playing the Jazz, no matter where it's at, as a 2-point dog.
Mhm.
Who would have thought the beginning of this, before the start of the season, we'd be saying that? But anyway,
Yeah.
The Thunder as a dog the Thunder as a dog have been bet on. They're just money.
Nope.
When they're a favorite, not so much. When they're a dog, though, I love the spot. I think it's a great look. I actually had my second highest rated prop was Jordan Clarkson over 4.5 rebounds. Not his threes, his rebounds. I think it was minus 105 or something like that.
Well,
okay.
you might if the point guard's out, you got to look at his PRA or his assist prop or
that you're gonna have to look at all that because he's gonna be the one handling the ball. So you can look at his turnovers too, all that shit. Look at Jordan Clarkson props all day tomorrow. But yeah, I'm definitely Oklahoma City. Like I said, I've already locked it in. It's my bet of the day, and looking to cash good big with them.
My numbers have a 1 point lean. My numbers have a 1 point lean towards the Jazz in that game, but I'm not playing it.
Yeah, the Jazz are a fade to me. Their roster's been shaken up. They traded some people, and like I said, they don't have the players. I don't know who's going to come in there and score. You got marketing, but other than that, they don't really have any offensive production that's going to be able to keep up with Oklahoma City because Shai Gilgeous, he's been putting up points. You got Giddey, and you got some feisty guys over there. And like I said, they play well in their division. I looked up the numbers, so I can't ignore their division record. And like I said, 17-6 ATS as a road dog. You can't ignore that. So yeah, Oklahoma City all day for me tomorrow. Warriors and Lakers, man. Interesting game right here. Lakers are laying 5.5 at home. I really didn't have much on this game. I just got to see how the Warriors respond. They put up points. They're a good first half team. You could probably pretty much bet on them in the first half. I like the first half over as well. But, Steph being out that lineup, you really can't tell who's going to be the guy every night. I've been cashing Draymond Green's over 15.5 rebounds and assists. That's been cashing pretty consistently. But other than that, I don't have anything. AD, he hit his rebound prop every now and then. You just got to get on the right game with him. LeBron, of course, his over 15.5 rebounds and assists has been hitting as well. But Blackhawks scored again. It's 4-3. They may win this game.
Well, live betting time. Opening up the book.
Time to take the Stars, right?
Max Domi. I like Max Domi. He plays hard.
Everything's locked.
He should get traded.
Yeah, it's locked up.
Who's in net? Who's in net for the Stars?
Ottinger.
The dude.
He's having a terrible game tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah, way to choke it when I needed his under 6.
Thanks a lot. I mean, I was expecting like a 4-1 win, but apparently
these guys.
But here's the thing. I am absolutely loving this right now. If Chicago can beat the Stars, because that really helps my Avalanche plus 400 divisional future with them. Because they're 2 games. They have 2 games in hand. I think Colorado, or it's gonna be 3 after tonight, and they're down 5 points. Like, this is a Colorado team that's going to come back and win this division. And I have plus 400 from them to do it. And you can get it now at like plus 200, 185, something like that.
LJ, I don't have much on this Lakers Golden State game. I hope we see points. I hope it's a good showcase game to kind of nightcap us off. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I don't have any much. Like I said, I don't have any much in these games. Like the Lakers, they're too inconsistent for me. They have a losing record. And like I said, Warriors on the road, losing record. So I just can't find an angle on 2 teams that have losing records in this situation. So it's
you got to pump the brakes. You got to pump the brakes right at the first game after the All-Star. You really have to have a good angle. If you don't have an angle or you're wishy-washy, don't bet. I mean, wait a couple games.
Yeah, but like I mentioned, Warriors 15-2 straight up in their last 17 games in the first half. So, but that tends to tend more to at home. They're not that good of a team. Like, I would take the over on the road because I think they could score points, but I think the other team could put points up as well. But at home, they're much more of a bet on team in the first quarter, first half. So I trust them more on the home court than I do on the road.
I mean, when they open this lineup at 239 for the total, that seems like they're just expecting a shootout, no defense, and that just seems like there's a lot of Oh, question mark. I see that Markel says Klay Thompson over threes. I mean, that's always a nice look. I don't know. It seems like a lot of points to come out the gates for teams that we can see 109, 101.
Lakers.
This is the final game I got to. This is the third and final play that I have. This is too many points. I'm on the Warriors with the 5.5. I have this around a 1.5.
Well, the question is, boys, is Dallas Stars plus 120 money line enough value?
I'm good. I'm rooting for the Blackhawks to win this game.
I don't think that's enough value.
No, it's not.
I don't think so.
Right here. Plus, I got plus 156.
I got plus 150 now. Plus 150. Is that now we're getting tempted?
I don't know. We saw Dallas come out to the quick lead, and since then, the motivation and momentum has shifted entirely to the Chicago side.
Goals.
This is going to be the last game, or maybe one more game, that we see Patrick Kane playing for the Chicago Blackhawks.
Yeah.
I think he's got the U-Haul all packed up. He might have even drove it down to Dallas because Dallas is one of those teams that's vying for playoff talent.
All right. Well, Chris, everything just locked up, which I don't know why.
Can I grab the Blackhawks minus 1.5 live?
I don't see that.
Yeah.
Why did they just score?
No, I want to bet it. Hoping for an
Why is it locked up? A power play?
Might be a penalty.
Yeah. It's all locked up.
LJ, any looks on the last game?
Sorry.
Yeah, I was going to talk about it right now. Blazers and Kings. Kings are laying 5. I'm going to take the first half over. The Kings are 20-9 to the first half over at home, and Portland is averaging 30 points in the second quarter. The Kings are averaging 31 points in the second quarter. So I'm expecting a lot of points, and I'm just going to get in the first half and take the over because Portland in the second quarter. First quarter you could fade Portland. They have a horrible ATS record in the first quarter, but the Kings, they play better at home, and I'm gonna be mad at a full game, but I just can't lay 5. So I'm just gonna consider the fact that both of these teams, especially the Kings, score a lot of points. I think they're the number 1 scoring team in the league, if I'm not mistaken. The Kings are. So I'm just gonna trust that a lot of points are gonna be scored, and I'm gonna take the over first half. I don't have the number yet because I don't get first half numbers until the next day. So, but that will be my play. First half over, Portland and Kings. So
I'll tell you what it looks like.
That's what I got for you. That's what I got for you.
First half total is 122.5 right now, but it's juiced to the under. It's minus 114 on the under. Thoroughly. So I don't know where that number stands. And
yeah, my numbers say over first half.
Yeah.
So I'm going to trust that. But yeah, as far as, like I said, my best bet is going to be Oklahoma City. I'm going to take 76ers, probably full game as well. I'm definitely going to take the first quarter. And I'm going to take the Cavs, first half under. As those are my 3 solid bets for tomorrow. I may get to something else. I'm leaning Raptors first quarter as well. But probably going to wait to get to the window on that one. Like you mentioned, Mike, I like to make money first and just play off my winnings.
Yeah.
That's what I like to do. Instead of taking a lot of bets at one time and just waiting and sweating and, things like that. I'd rather just make an early bet, see how that does. If I cash, let's play off the winnings. So
more often than not, that kills me. Like for the 7:00 window on the East Coast there with all the games that are going in there. If I start getting crazy and betting everything I like, it's really hard to pare that window down. And then sometimes I end up missing the games I like at 9:00 or 10:00 because that money's still in play or it's a loss. And so it's definitely a skill set to be able to not go too heavy in a certain window. And to your point, I like to get that win early and then use that money to bet again. And then I'm at least at 0 instead of being down.
Yeah, I've learned to be more disciplined, man. Like
plus 170.
Just doing this. Stars, you want to do it?
I'm doing it.
You doing it? I'm doing it with you. Fuck it.
Yeah,
we're live.
I'm doing it.
Who cares?
We're doing it.
Right now, I'm with you. I'm locking it in right now.
Yeah, it's done.
Boom. Ooh, my odds changed to 175.
Oh well,
that quick. Boom, I'm locked in. Plus 175.
I gotta turn this shit on.
All right, guys, that's the schedule, man. Any other thoughts? any other things y'all looking at for tomorrow? Because I don't do college, you know what I'm saying? So if y'all want to throw some college stuff out there,
Not a college, not a college play, but I took Battle Hawks and Sea Dragons over 35.5 XFL.
So I was just gonna say, next thing I'm looking at is college and XFL, and I'm taking any XFL total that's under 40. I'm taking the over.
Yep.
And I might be taking all of the favorites that are 3 points or under. And this is just, I know it's a very square way of looking at it, but the 2 times the XFL has gone off, or at least the last time, the good teams won and covered, and the totals weren't super high, but they were all over 40. So that's what I'm kind of running with, because the same talent is there. These are guys that are practice squad guys that couldn't make the team, or they're old, washed up NFL players. And it was the same then, and it's the same. The best guy in the league, the top paid guy, who by the way only makes $200,000 a year, is Brett Hundley from UCLA. We remember him from the Packers. He used
to play with Green Bay.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah.
So the point
Ravens too. He played with the Ravens too.
He did. Yep. Well, that's the thing. I'm thinking about every mobile black quarterback there is has played on the Ravens. I mean, it's crazy. But yeah. Anyway, point being, if that's the best player in the league, this isn't. It's not a dynamic league. I think it's going to follow suit. I think the books, until they correct the totals, that's what we should do. And I think you should bet on the best team. The better team's going to win. That's a very square way. Very square. I know Mike's laughing, but I looked at this is my cap, my very simple cap from the last time the XFL went. And in order for something to change, what dynamics would change in this league? Like they suddenly got better players or something? Like it's the same thing as it was 3 years ago. Crap.
So you say if the total is 40, take the over.
The total's under 40, take the over. Nick and I kind of arrived on. We started having conversations. We arrived on it and said, yeah, that's the consensus. But I'm taking it one step forward and saying any tight line, take the favorite.
Okay. All right. I'm
5-3. That system was 5-3 last week.
Hey, don't make no sense to get off of it now. So yeah, I'm with you. I'm gonna ride it with y'all. But yeah, man. Any other thoughts?
I just took the Blackhawks puck line live.
Yeah, he has. You have to go and piss in the punch, dude. What are you doing?
I had the double chance. I don't want to say anything, but I had the Blackhawks to win or go to overtime at plus 195, I think it was. So
I just took the puck line, hoping for an empty netter.
I took a quick stroll through the college basketball schedule tomorrow. A couple spots I like. I like Detroit Mercy. Northern Kentucky on the road stinks. They absolutely stink. That's just a shit team on the road. They're not even much better at home, but they absolutely stink on the road. So I like that Detroit Mercy spot. A couple of overs. UAB's an over team. I took that ride with it. There's no reason to change it. St. Thomas has been an over team. I'll probably take them first half over and full game over because they're just over spots. Northwestern State, they're a pretty solid first half team. They just lost their last game first half, but I think before that they had won like 5 or 6 in a row. I've just been cashing that spot nonstop. And then if it doesn't cash the first half, the second half and live lines in play. And the last one was Eastern Washington. Some later games on the schedule there, but Eastern Washington's been a play-on spot for me this year too. So that's just 5 looks I have in college basketball that I'm going to definitely be flying with tomorrow. And with the card in the NBA coming back and a full NHL card now, it's kind of like trying to pick my spots a little tighter in college because I can only have so many plays out there. These trifecta plays suck down a lot of bankroll, so it's hard to get all that money in play and still have money to play with. So I think we looked at the NHL. I think there's some great looks there tomorrow, and we got some great spots for the NBA, a couple college looks too. It should be a fun day. It's nice to have all 3 sports back in play again. It was nice to have the break, but it's nice to have everything back in play again and give me something else to curse out.
I agree, man. I'm ready. Like I said, I had enough time to refresh, refuel. Now it's back. It's go time. And, we got 20 games left in NBA before the playoffs. We've got Kevin Durant on the Suns now. It's going to be interesting to see how he deals on that team. And it's interesting that he's played with 4 different Hall of Fame point guards. Who else has done it in their career? Played
Who's
with
that?
4 Hall of Fame point guards. Kevin Durant. He's played with Steve Nash. Chris Paul, Russell Westbrook, Steph Curry, Kyrie Irving. All 4 of those are Hall of Fame point guards.
Yeah.
He's played with all of them.
He's going to be a real dick.
So he,
as a person,
He
I
has
don't
to
know
win.
anything about him. He's just got to be a dick because nobody wants to play with him. It seems like he doesn't fit in anywhere. He's got an elite attitude, elitism to him, or an elitist attitude, or I don't know what his deal is. I love that at the start of the season he wanted to trade, and they weren't trading him, and then Kyrie gets the trade, and then he's coming back, and now he's traded. What the fuck?
I think we need to remember something. And Joy Taylor was talking about this on she's filling in for Colin Cowherd today. We seem to dismiss the first 8 or 9 seasons or forget about it that Kevin Durant played with the Supersonics. Remember that team? And the Thunder, and with Westbrook and all them. He won an MVP. He won Rookie of the Year. He went to the finals. He went to the playoffs a bunch of times. Like, he's earned the right to act however the fuck he wants, go wherever he wants to, chase the money. I mean, we're not talking about a schlub. The thing that burnt people is he left to go to a super team and won. That seemed like cheating. But you know what? Wouldn't you do that?
No, I think
I don't want to.
it was more about he left the team that beat him. I think it was more about that.
He went
Yeah,
to the team
beat
that knocked
in
him
the
out.
playoffs. Yeah.
But so what? Wouldn't you? Why would I do the print? Well, here's the deal. You want to go win championships and make money, or you want principles? I don't know.
I mean, you can look at the individual stats that he has, but it's not an individual sport. It's a team sport. And so this guy couldn't make it work in OKC and the Sonics. He couldn't make it work in the Nets with the team and the talent that they had there. Now he's going out to the Suns, and I'm sure he'll fuck that up too.
But here's the deal, though. He doesn't pretend like he wants to be that guy. He's silent whenever the media comes up to him. He says, basically, I don't want to talk, or he avoids the question. He makes no bones about it. He doesn't want to be a team player. He wants to be an individual hot dog.
He's a poor leader, and he commands top dollar, and that's just not a good recipe for everybody else in the locker room, right? I mean, you got a guy that's going to take top dollar, and I'm not doing this, I'm not doing that, I'm not giving this interview, I'm not going to that charity event. Like, nobody wants a guy that's a me monster, right? We got to be me players. I don't know. That's my. I don't know anything about the situation. I just I'm excited to see what he does to the Suns, but I'm sure we're going to sit back and go, wow, he's going to another team. Where's he going after here? Denver?
The Lakers.
Lakers.
No, I don't disagree with you, Mike. I just kind of say, like, when you look at these guys that want to go and are selfish players and all that, look at Westbrook and look at him. KD's done way more. I think KD deserves to act however he wants. I think Russell Westbrook's the guy you got to look at and say, hey, you've proven nothing, and you're acting like this. Get out of here.
Get out of here.
The NBA wants those these guys want to make these superstar teams and have all the talent with them, but nobody wants to play with the guy.
Yeah, that's true.
You can only go so many places before it's not me, it's you, you know?
Mm-hmm.
All right, guys.
Hey, boys.
I'm going to get off because I got to do something before I do my pick show. So, got to refresh and do some things.
Hey, good work today. Thanks for having me.
Get out of here. Hey, Mike, I was going to start with you. Let the people know where they can find you, my guy.
Hey, guys, follow me on Twitter, Pimp Slap Play of the Day, Pimp Slap POD. We took a loss tonight, but it's not the first. It won't be the last, and hopefully we can find enough winners through these live streams and whatnot to make it capitalize and put money back in our pockets. So appreciate you giving me the opportunity tonight. Love working with you guys. Nick, Dave, you guys know it. Looking forward to the next time we get together, and we'll put more money in our pockets.
Hey, I agree. Dave, let the people know where they can find you.
Picks from Dave on Twitter and YouTube. Picks every night. Pick videos every night. Show Nerd and the Turd on Friday. Doing a lot more live streams. Check us out. We're winning money. We're having a good time. That's it.
That's what it's about. What is your free pick today? What tonight?
Tonight, what I'm thinking about, I'm thinking about the Cavs. It's probably going to be my bet.
Okay.
When I do my video, by the way, this is a little. We'll talk about it. But I don't necessarily think that's going to be my best bet. but that's going to be my free pick because I think people are going to be most interested in the NBA coming back and not on a small college team or an NHL game. Because my best bet's an NHL game, but those videos don't do as well. So,
okay. Nick, where can the people find you?
Earl Sports Bets every single morning, anywhere between 10 and 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, the Earl Sports Bet Show. Also on Twitter at Nicholas_Earl. I post all my plays there. So you can check me out there.
Shout out to you, Capper, Ronald, in the building. Shout out to the chat, man. Matt Stoney, he's always in our groups. Markel, Crystal Craig, new person. I need Dallas to score. I have to draw. Okay,
she's a fan of all. Yeah, she's
okay.
We drug her in here. She's a great
like.
Canadian gal. Yeah.
Okay, cool, man. We love the support, man. Always. So continue to watch, continue to subscribe, like, because she probably see us on all the other channels as well. So we're an easy follow. Just keep your notifications on, and you can look to make some money. So that being said, guys, thank you once again. I'm glad y'all spent some time with me to cap this NHL and NBA card for tomorrow. We got a big slate. A lot of spots to try to make some money, and this is what we're going to continue to do. Keep cashing, making these bets and living our lives. It's a dream. So until then, I'm going to try to do a video every week for the most part. So I'm going to hit y'all up again, see if we can do this again next week, and we can continue to keep cashing on these live streams. So, Nick, appreciate you for joining me. Mike, appreciate you as always. And Dave, you already know it's a pleasure, man, having y'all on. Capping these games, and like I said, till next time, we're going to keep cashing, keep making money. So keep watching RaWordz podcast, LJ from H-Town, and we out.
Yeah, R-A-W, words being served, no concern and no trouble to get that dough. Money on my mind, if it's money all the time, we be pumping on the grind. If it's LJ from Houston, pulling up stats, you'll be pulling in stacks, hitting bookies from the back with no Vaseline. I need green enough free quantities for a fiend, save the dreams for a king. This is H-Town, home of the lean. Astros is the team, and we rock it. Texans for life, you can't stop it. Together like